some might like no show. So on Tuesday, you can actually run more than 6.
I'm saying it's the only amount of.
Like on Wednesday after the meeting, right after the meeting. Thursday.
So just after so many.
I'm gonna address that.
Okay. All right, so new guys, I would recommend getting a brand new sheet of paper and taking some notes. You have the pictures, you know, if you want to replicate it, you can. Vets, go ahead and look through the schedule. I'll give you a couple of thoughts on our cap. I'll have Grace, Karina come up. And why I like Karina doing this, because the more she's worked with me, the more I feel like we're on the same page of what the functions mean to the business. She's going to talk, do you have any notes to talk about why interviews are privileged? Okay. So, on a personal note, no one in this room has been with me longer, minus Beth Shishmani, who's not in this room for the first time. No one has worked with me longer than Karina. When I came down to FC in 2010, she was a brand new rep, scholarship winner, while going to school. And here she is now. So I have not driven her away, and that deserves a slow clap.
This is for the new offices mainly. Now, just overall, before I go into the specifics, we decided to shift a few things around.
Sorry.
So, for example, there's no interview later than 5:15. Does anyone want to take a gander as to why? There's a couple reasons. Yeah.
So if the day interviews, kids aren't getting out of 9 o'clock.
Exactly. Yeah, Tyler, right? So,
You will learn his name.
I did learn.
Oh.
Before I met him. Yeah, that way it's because at least in my office for sure. If you've seen it, it looks just really sketchy once they were getting like a 9:30 at night. Also, I think, and I was speaking about this to Jeff. Raise your hand if you run just steroids in general. Right? I don't know about you guys. I get a lot of success from running later ones, like at 8, 8:39. I've even run a couple like after 10 o'clock at night. So I think ending at like the last interview at 5:15 gives you a chance to run a couple like last-minute steroids. So for example, if you didn't hit your sign goal for the day, I got this from Powell actually. Let's say I was at 8 and my goal was 10. I'm like, all right, well, you know, we have a couple hours to spare. Who can I call right now so I can meet with in the next, 10 to 15 minutes? So you'll see that we kind of cater the schedule toward that. And I want to emphasize before I go into everything, I would definitely study, I know everyone here's done so, but I recommend before the summer starts to study Jeff's rep targeting program, specifically his high flyer workshop on Saturday. That was my main focus this past summer. We had double digits every single morning for the most part, at least starting the month of June. The easiest thing that'll help you to get that morning attendance is it's a simple sheet of paper that he's going to email out to you. It's a commitment sheet. Has anyone used that in the past? It works wonders because they literally sign on a sheet of paper that they're committed to coming every single morning. So as a new branch or a new district, you don't really have a lot of help. So Jeff and I were talking about that. You're not really going to have a lot of time for PCs until really July. So you can try to PC on Sundays. You can try to PC like, at night or maybe catch lunch with someone. But when you have people in the morning, you can just grab breakfast with your top guy or top girl right after Champions Club. So that I think is key to running the week, is to make sure that you nail that high fly workshop on Saturday, is it'll just make the whole schedule in general a lot easier for you. And then eventually, because you've rep targeted, what can you do with those top reps? If they're selling and doing things the right way, you can do what for them? You can promote them. And when you're new, you need help like ASAP. So come SC1, Jeff said he wants to promote 50 assistants. Last SC1, I think we promoted, 10 maybe. So the AM promotion was definitely lacking. So I think as a division, as an area of opportunity to just promote AMs early. And when you have zero help, that's just gonna, again, make your schedule a lot easier too. So let's start with Sunday. I like, and Vets, you might be able to test this, I like having the set 5 a little bit earlier. In the past, I've done it later, but I feel like when you're new, you don't really have a lot of time, and like the phone jam and the PSP, and like everything starts hitting the fan past 5 p.m. So you don't really have a lot of time to set those 5. And we've established that once you set 5, the next day is the best efficiency. Next day or same day, same as traditional PRs. So the 5 that you're setting on Sunday, you should meet with them either Sunday night or Monday, and we have in the schedule. So we have in the schedule of you guys running at least 10 steroids on a weekly basis. But you know, if you take in Sunday night plus Wednesday night, you have a little gap here Wednesday over here. If you're really just like maxing out your schedule, you can probably squeeze in, including Thursday right over here, about 15 one-on-ones, even having 0 help at all. So the goal is to get these 5 set for Monday, and then Monday this time right here, you set 5 more for Tuesday.
Time out. So this schedule pretty much is everyone here minus Karina, Rhiannon, Kaylee, that's probably Kaylee since you're assistant to admin. So this is your schedule. Mike, this is not you. Grace is not you. Carlos, this is not you. Possibly Orlando, but we make a couple tweaks. But for the most part, this is your old, like add a couple of things and then the pilot, obviously. So everyone else should be, this is your schedule. We might make a couple of tweaks, but this is for pretty much, you have no assistants, you're solo, this is how you roll. And then for everyone else, for the vets, I will send on the DM page right now while she's doing this, I'm gonna send some thoughts on the schedule that you can see on the picture of what's different, what we wanna talk about on the cap. The one thing I wanna show that so Mike and all the vets, I'm doing 2 different conference calls. I do a new office call, so everyone who's following the schedule, Wednesday at 1:30. Okay. DMs, traditionally we've done it Friday morning 7 a.m., Friday morning 8 a.m. Some people try to squeeze it after. I'm proposing for Mike, for Carlos, for the vets, that you move the day 1 of training to start at noon. Okay, so it'd be like a 12 to 5:30, 12 to 6. And we'd go 10 to 11 a.m. on Thursday before your training, and then you start training at noon. That's what I know a lot of the divisions doing. I don't mind going Friday 7 a.m. Most people mind. So, and I just think also it's hurting our Friday PD a little bit. Now that I look at it. So, okay, so that's, I'll send some thoughts on the DM page. Everyone else, Marcus Sterling.
So just to give a quick thought, there really shouldn't be a reason why every single person in this room shouldn't launch at least 2 steroids on a weekly basis, because according to this, you should be running 10 to 15 interviews. So that's already on the low end, 2 to 3 launches a week. And the PPR on them on the low end is like, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, probably higher, but let's just be conservative. That's $6,000 to $8,000 a week just from you making those calls. So this really allows, for those of you that are thinking big for the summer, this is your moneymaker right here. And it's kind of like if we're reps and we're phone jamming, I'd like everyone to treat Tuesday setting 5 as like the Thursday backup jam, you know? Because like ideally these, you run them on Monday you run them on Tuesday, but let's say you're off your goal, or some people like don't show up, or you know, you always run into those issues where you have like a virtual one, or last minute they, you know, cancel from training, whatever the case might be. So then Tuesday, I might double book a few later at night because some might be shaky and whatnot. But there really shouldn't be a reason why you're not launching at least 2 to 3 on a weekly basis. So with Sunday, making sure you knock that out. In the beginning, for those of you that are brand new, your first week, who are those top 5 that you're setting, even though you haven't launched anyone yet?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Old PRs? Yeah, but also your receptionist. I would just PR your receptionist your first week,
Post PR,
get their top 5.
Facebook.
And Facebook too. So that's that first week on the in the schedule. I wouldn't run an interview at night on Sunday. I guess you can, but if anything, you can do like a virtual or a quick Sunday night. But it's definitely not a bad idea to run at least 1 or 2 one-on-one Sunday night, especially in May, because your team's really not that big. So this PDI Sunday night, anyone know specifically this is for who? Once you have a team going on, who's Sunday night? Faster, yeah. So I've been there, you know, when I had lack of health, and I always forget to do a quick outgoing round to my newbies, just make sure that this is a priority as well. Even if it's a quick, hey, how was your weekend? All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm excited to give you some goods. That helps with retention. Right? So then Monday, you have the Champions Club. And again, Champions Club's super easy to run. Jeff has really perfected the program. Just read the document word for word. You're gonna be fine.
We distinguish from PDI.
Yeah. So then PDI. So Champions Club kicks off at 8. Once you kick it off and they're watching the video, you can start your PDI and it's from 8 to 10. Okay.
Oh, you have PDI after the video.
Excuse me?
You have PDI after the
Yeah. 8 to 10. Well, PDI during too. Like
video.
say once you kick off.
Again, phone at 8.
I'll get on the phone at 8 and the video's at 9.
Hey, folks, this is for everybody. So what we promote is PDI 8 to 10, and Champions Club's 8 to 9:30. So the manager's PDI is 8 to 10, and the rep's calling 8 to 10. Champions Club's 8 to 9:30. So if I'm a rep that comes to Champions Club, as soon as they get in, it's a quick 30-second, all right, everybody, welcome to Champions Club. Remember, like we said on Saturday in training, this is part of what we have to do to make sure you get your appointment set for the day. So from 8 to 9, they're phone jamming, plus it's the best time to get a hold of the moms, right? Then from 9 to 9:30 is when you step out of PDI for a quick second, probably in the room anyway, and then do whatever video at 9 o'clock or whatever instruction from 9 to 9:30. And then they leave, and then from 9:30 to 10, you can do your cleanup PDI. So one more time, 8 o'clock, it's kick off the phone jam. 9, they do the video. 9:30, send them on their way. All in between, that's the PDI. Okay.
And then you have extra time at night to do any cleanup PDI you need to get done. But Monday PDI isn't really as urgent. So you're running one-on-ones throughout the day. Plus we have the 5:15 interview. We switched from running 2 interviews on Monday to just having 1. So just prepare, especially if you have no help, that'll probably be a pretty big interview. So you're gonna wanna, allot enough time to pre-screen, but make sure you're setting the steroids, because if you're not setting up 4 on the low end on Monday, then you're kind of losing money because you're not running 2 interviews. So I hope you guys understand, like, we're cutting out a whole interview. That was a huge move, but only because we're assuming that by running 4 to 5 on Monday, you're gonna get a launch. So that's why we made the call. So just make sure that that's getting done. Okay. So we have Tuesday, setting 5. What I like to do, and I got this from Kathy, you can invite people in for PCs and you just give their PC a range. It's like, hey, we're gonna have a one-on-one from 10 to 11:30, right? You're not meeting them for an hour and a half. When you're not meeting with them, they can make calls. And what I've done is I do a set 5 PC. So I do whatever skills check I need to do with them, or I give them whatever thoughts. I'm like, all right, cool, before I let you go, I wanna make sure that we help you win the region trip, right? We only have 1 of your friends on the team. Why don't you sit here real quick, give me an attack list of 5 people we can call right now. So if you're running low on this, I think this is a great time to PC anyone that you
Did you hear that? That's a nugget.
That's what
If you don't have, give me a point to a blue area with the Tuesday.
Yeah.
If that's not booked, from 2 to 4 p.m. right there, don't stop moving the dot, stop moving the dot, stop moving the dot. Stop your,
I can't. Yeah, jeez.
so from 2 to 4 o'clock, you're supposed to have how many one-on-ones? 4. Let's say you only booked 1. Get a PC book for that, or have maybe one of the Champions Club Tuesday members come in, or Monday night, have them come in for an hour and a half. They may have 0 steroids set for the 5 stars for those, so that's 2 hours. Have them come in, work in a PC / a set 5. At least you're setting 5, that's still productive.
And they can do play an hour and a half. You can give them a video to watch. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Carlos's voice in my office. Like, watch this video is money. Like, he's dropping down video. It's like they don't know how to drop down. I'm like, watch this. It's fine. And while they're watching the video, I'm setting up their friends. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna set up your friends real quick. Watch this. We're gonna debrief after, and I'm gonna tell you who I've set up. And I just call them right in front of them, and I'll just step and say, like, yeah, they're sitting right in front of me. They told me you were nice. I'm not sure about that. Whatever. Just book the PRs. And I love booking PRs in front of them too, and that's how I get my rabbits. So I think Tuesday is a great PC day, but in May, you might not have the opportunity to run as many one-on-ones. So you can do PCs there, but just make them recruiting PCs. I think Luke was the one that said that set 5. I don't know what the phrase was.
Set 5. Yeah.
Now.
per person.
Now.
It's all the time.
So Tuesday you got two
Keeps it at
interviews. We moved the 11:45 interview. That's a little bit earlier instead of 12. I think it was 12:15 before, right? Or 12:45. So now it's earlier. It's been proven statistically that the interview, when it's earlier, it gets better show.
So late morning is preferred, and
Yeah.
sometime before 6, like a 5:15. Those are like the two preferred interviews according to all the diabolical statistics that Jeff Kunkel's gone through.
My dog wrong.
So Tuesday PDI, do not forget that you want to allot at least an hour to make a call to your top people. If you have zero help, you're not going to be able to talk to your whole team. That's why, again, Champions Club is preferred. And if you get the system rolling, I've had people in my office that aren't in their fast start, but they still come in the morning just to make a few calls and knock them out. And make the mornings really something that they want to come to. Make sure that the office is, good tempo. Make sure they're gaining value. A lot of the people, their friends are in training. So I'm like, hey, why don't you come tomorrow morning with your friend Oscar? You guys can make calls together. You can kind of show them the ropes. They love showing their friends how to do the job, even though they both don't even know what they're doing. but I love getting PRs, and I buddy them up. I'm like, hey, can you help out so and so? He only sold $1,000. I want to get him some next promotion. Do you want to come in and give him a few tips? They're like, yeah, sure. Your top kids are dying for responsibility, so that's an easy way to get attendance in the morning. But for the few that you don't get, make sure that you're allotting an hour to just make a quick round. And those are my most powerful conversations, at least on Tuesday. And that's how you set up a nice Wednesday jam. And then Tuesday night, of course, you have some last minute one-on-ones that you can run. Any questions so far? So just for the first 3 days, you've already set up your training class. We haven't even accounted for how many people you've hired in the group interviews. So double digits should be fairly easy within just Monday alone. So Wednesday is a pretty packed day. Make sure that you're very efficient. You have a call with Jeff at 1:30. Is that just branches or all new offices?
All new. The Thursday call, which is from 10 to 11, it's definitely all the vet offices, all the district offices, including Orlando, Kaylee, David.
So our new DMs on Wednesday too.
So new DMs, I'll have you on.
Wednesday as well.
I'm sorry. If you're a new office, your Wednesday, if you would like to participate also on the Thursday call, I just won't call on you at all. Anyone can hop on that Thursday call, but I'm recommending you guys keep your training the same 11 to 4. Don't. The vet district managers, I'm proposing instead of 11 to 4, you shift it 12 to 5:30, an hour later. We'll run our call here. I don't think anyone who's brand new by themselves should do that, because then you're not going to have time for PDI and you're going to have to run your interview later. That's going to affect the show. That's your last time to get someone into the seminar for Friday. Okay. So one more time, that Thursday conference call over to Thursday.
It's
Don't
not
move the
ready
dot.
yet.
Don't move the dot. Don't move. Nice. Karina, Rhea, I think you should be on the Thursday call. Okay. Heisman, probably on the Thursday call. You're not new. Late Thursday call, not new. Mike, Grace, Carlos, Pilot.
So for new offices, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, how to drive a 10K week. You need to have a staff meeting with yourself, like an hour, where you just sit down and you plan. I think the best times to do that, this gap right here on Sunday, after you set 5 and right before the PSP. It's like right before the rush of people get in. It's a nice gap to do it. You can do it over coffee, turn off your phone, and just at least sit in a private space in your office or something like that, and just get a little bit of work done. I'll talk about tomorrow what you should plan. That, it's a little bit late. You can technically do it Wednesday morning. Is a decent time too, right before your interview. But you definitely want to have a good hour, worst case 45 minutes, where you can kind of analyze your team, do projections, and again, I'll expand on that more so tomorrow. But those were the 2 days I would set aside. Well, one of those 2 days, yeah.
See,
What's that?
82.
What's that? I'm just kidding. Sorry. Right. It would be 5 to 6. I'm sorry. Keystyle would be 5 to 6. Keystyle 82 6 to 7. Home jam, right? Sorry.
You can just have the team
I just
arriving
for-
while
I just-
you're running 82.
I just forgot to write it.
The day 2 is mainly like teaching them like how to phone jam, that kind of thing. And you can,
Well, I could probably do a video for you too also. If you want.
that'd be great.
So while you're running key staff, just play the video. And then
So make sure that Wednesday you're buttoned up because you're back to back, right? And then Thursday, for those of you that are invited on the call, we have training 11 to 4, and then we've allotted 4 to 5. You can call your people to set them up for what later? Yeah, Moneymaker phone jam on Thursday, right? So you do have some time during the phone jam. I think it's pretty easy to run a steroid during this phone jam just because they're just making calls. And at this point, is anyone one-on-one interview taking more than 30 minutes? Shouldn't. Mine take like 20, but high end 30. So you can take a half hour, step away from the phone jam and run a quick steroid. Also, the people that are there at the office, it's like, hey, we only had 9 in training today. I'm trying to get at least 1 more so we can have double-digit people on our team. Who do you know that I can call right now? And we can just FaceTime them real quick, and I can meet with them. So Thursday is a great backup day, and I've been known to run a couple last-minute steroids as well. Because at your phone jam on Wednesday, you're going to set some up. And like Luke said, just set sharp people up for the group interview. You can just run a interview for a lot of sharp people. Definitely the way to go. And then Friday, this PDI that's done in the morning, I say Tuesday and Friday are one of the most important PDI days. Just because, are you going to get a chance to talk to your people on Saturday? Not usually. We have in here, you can squeeze in a little bit of time. During that phone jam on Saturday morning, I like to PC my trainees though, that's the thing. So I might make a quick outgoing call to my top 2 fast starters that I know are gonna hit 10K, and I'll wish them luck. But Friday is a huge PDI day, so make sure that you have plenty of time allotted for that, because after that, you're not gonna really talk to people. What I recommend, and Jeff, I don't know if you agree with this, throughout training on Friday, if you're by yourself, take sales calls and just take them in front of your trainees. And I just close sales in front of them. And it's like, hey.
And during role plays, text your best people.
Yeah, during role plays. Yeah, texting is managed. So you can do PDI. You have day 2 PDI on Friday. And then also Friday night, I might reach out to my top people too, but at that point, I mainly focus on my trainees. So Jeff made a good point, especially with the text to schedule. You guys are going to have people setting your interviews. If your last interview is Thursday at 5:15, where are all those other touches going to go? All the way to Monday. So it's 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days in advance. So all the more reason to promote an assistant manager ASAP, not to run a pre-screen, not to run an interview, but I think there's an easy part of Saturday where you can have them teach your trainees recommendations, or do a quick cutting clinic, or give them something to do in training for a half hour. And then what you do on Saturday is you want to run a pre-screen interview. Because on top of the fact that Monday, you only have 1 interview, so it's already going to be big. But then if you're setting all of your touches Thursday to Monday, that interview's going to be huge, and you're by yourself.
Or really bad show.
And a really bad show, yeah.
Or actually, we'll be a bad show instead.
Yeah. So, I'm talking and I don't think it needs to be an official assistant. We actually have 2 people on our team. I want to give Blake props for this. When I was gone in Costa Rica, he taught this guy how to run a Sunday, because there was miscommunication and no one could come in the Sunday that I was gone. And the kid literally came in, met with a few people. He's only at $3,000 in sales. It's that was so cool. I'm so interested in management now. I'm all right, well, let's get you to TLA first.
Buy me lunch.
So maybe not assistant, but maybe key staff. So you can call your top key staffer, and it's hey Grace, I have a proposal for you. I know you're interested in management. How about I give you a quick trial run? You want to help me with training on Saturday? Can I use you from the hours of 12 to 1? And then just find the easiest part of day 3 or something like that, and give them a chance to
Or another,
help out.
I think this might be getting lost. I know This message can sometimes get lost. What we're saying is there's no set interview in the schedule for if you're a solo, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So anyone that doesn't make it into Thursday's interview, from later Thursday, all of Friday, all of Saturday, all of Sunday, they go into Monday's interview. That's already a terrible show, a lot of waste of money. What we're saying is run something on Saturday sometime where it's not an interview, it's set as an interview, but when people come in, you're just preening them. You just want them to show up to an office and see you and run a, it's better to, I'd rather someone come to the office and Rhiannon gets a chance to spend 10 minutes and run a pre with them if they're really sharp and try to get them to Monday than hoping that the receptionist 4 days out gets them to show up Monday. Okay, so a couple, what she's saying, options are Saturday, you could put a 4:45 interview, but that's kind of crazy when you launch, a little busy. You could put one, I think you could put one at 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah, just right.
9:45, kind of in the middle of your phone jam. So High Flyer workshop ends at 9:30. All right, everyone, let's make sure you get to at least 10 before we get out of here. So at 9:45, you run a couple quick proof screens, come back and run the rest of your phone jam. Or you could also do a Friday night, 6:45, and it's a little weird, 7:50. But we've done it before.
They can try it just for a couple weeks and then.
So 2 things. We'll come to questions. I just sent a WhatsApp. I apologize for keep confusing. The call on Thursday is if you have the staff to run an interview and move your training to 12 o'clock. So I put a list of who would be on the Thursday call at 10 o'clock, and then everyone else should be on Wednesday at 1:30 with me. That's how it's going to happen. Okay. Any questions on the schedule? Karina's going to go in depth a little bit more tomorrow on how do you drive a week.
Why aren't they doing like a 4:45? It's only 30 minutes. We'll be out like by 5:15 before.
It's because it's in the evening or on Saturday. You can do it, but
I think you can.
I mean,
But if you're by yourself, it depends. Yeah.
just with the lunch and everything. But I mean, that's how I did
You
my
could,
range.
you could do that.
Yeah.
You could do that. She's talking about the interview, just clear out the weekend. I just said 9:45, and when she's saying 4:45, you could do that. I just know after I run a day 3, I don't want to see anyone. I just want to take calls and sales calls. Yeah. So, questions?
Really not that important. Where would you do the admin stuff? So you have the receptionist checks done, all the.
That's part of planning too, but
Sunday.
I like this time right here. That's when I do it.
Sunday?
That's a little bit more tomorrow. We'll cover that.
Where do you
Sunday.
go to the bathroom?
Where do you go to the bathroom?
Yeah, where do you go to the bathroom?
You get a tan.
Last thing. Watch this. What's not in the schedule?
Tube.
Where do you do Facebook blasting?
Ooh. At night. At night.
At night. So
Facebook
at
blasting.
night.
At
The
night.
PDI at the end is just mop up PDI, but I mean, again, I used the Luke story of you would get home from usually Tuesday night. I would say Tuesday night, he's done his last interview, he's PDIing from home. You don't have to be in your office if you're PDIing to people. He's Facebook blasting.
That's why I think organization is so important because if you have a demo tracker at night, you can just circle,
At
hey,
night.
these are the demos I haven't heard from, and then in the morning you just follow up.
Any question on schedule? That's I want to just reference here. That should be. Okay, so for the vets, real quick, I guess what I want a proposal on is, okay, well, where do you see based on the staff that you have running one-on-one? It's case by case. I can't say every office you have this many people. In the pilot, running one-on-ones, we only have 1, 2, we only have 3 people that we're gonna let run one-on-ones. Okay, some offices it's like 5 or 6. Some offices it's just 1. So that orange is where the vet offices are gonna have to make the proposal. The one that Karina just showed you, every office has the ability to run 10 or 11 one-on-ones / PCs. That's just keep that mainframe. Just imagine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Every interview is 11:15. 11:15, 2:45, 5:15. 11:15, 2:45, 5:15. That's where you can run 3 a day if you wanted to. Okay. Imagine this is dual function. So here you run 2 interviews at 3. Let's say at 3:15 after AT2, you could do it at 2:45 if you wanted. 5:15 if you have dual function. So we'll hash this out if you have any questions on that. Just all that I ask is if we move our day 1 to 12 for anyone that's going to be on that 10 o'clock time. Any questions from the vets?
What's your philosophy on outgoing, like ponging them Monday nights, Tuesday nights? I guess those 2 nights specifically. So the next morning, do you have a staff member do it? Like, because you have one person recruiting, like with a schedule, so you have recruiters, and then you have people doing the one-on-one interviews. That means you want another person on incoming calls, maybe doing outgoing calls, getting them set up for the morning phone time, or is that like just you do teams? Like, what is the philosophy and the vision, or what have you done in the past?
I think it's really that's one of the most case by case things, right?
Is it?
If you've got 5 people that can all take strong PDI, that's a different answer than Mike's the only one who I would trust with reps. Then I would teach one kid to do the absolute easiest thing, which would be just, I think the easiest PDI of all the PDI is check in from demos. If you have someone that can, I just set up and train. I just make sure the situation is the boss. If you are not able to take calls and answer calls from every demo, don't say that in day 3.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, part of PDI is checking for every appointment. If you say that and then you're never picking up, it doesn't match up. Hey guys, I'm not available all the time. I'm a one-woman show. Remember that? I'm a one-man show. And I can only talk to everyone at a certain time. And that's from 8 to 10 o'clock every morning. And then also our PSPs on Sunday and of course the Wednesday meeting. That's the definite time. If you call, you don't get me, then here's what I want you to do. You do your best, leave a voicemail after, and I'll call you right back as soon as I can. We're obviously trying, so that's a whole different, there's that, I don't have help, and then there's Mike, I have 5 people. So I would say make that a cap question. And my final answer is, I've had the last 4 summers, I'd probably that answer before this, depending on staff. So those of you that have assistants, roughly how many people do you feel like would run one-on-ones in your office, including you, if you're part of that number? Who would run? So
I just
So 2, right? So 2. 2. You have someone else who can run one-on-one? Okay. 3.
2 or 3.
Okay. I think 2 will get you a really nice summer, by the way. It's just because it's 2 more people intentional that you didn't have last summer intentional.
Yeah, me plus 2.
So 3, and then 3 here. 1,
Try
2. Okay. Grace, how many people are able to run one-on-ones? 3. Okay. Okay. Let's take another quick 10. Right at 4, and I'm going to juggle the schedule a little bit so we can make sure we have enough time. Right now, having in the 30-degree weather, she wears a Canada Goose down jacket. I know, what you're thinking for Florida. What's a Canada Goose down? It's the Cutco of warm jackets, or at least the and here I am.
Northeast.
That's right. Yeah. So now that we've gone through the schedule, Sunday has taken on a completely different meaning in our business. Used to be not so big at all. In fact, used to be just a complete day off. And it became a really big part of the PR program. And then now, if done right, that PSP/phone jam is really what makes the difference in driving the front end. Here's maybe a note for Cap, note for yourself. How do you make your Sunday phone jams meaningful? That's part of what Orlando's talking about, really, but how do you make that setup so you have attendance meaningful? Because if you don't, you're missing phone on sales. And your sales is just heavy based on Wednesday phone jam and based on train launch. Okay. This is more so tomorrow, but we will talk to all of you about what do you plan, what do you build this thing in. So I really wanted to sort of land on the program for two main reasons. As the district manager, I like to put the districts more on and think of them more for the program as we move through the campaigns. As a person at the table, it's important to start leading in that fashion, but also the experience you have as a pilot. I can tell you, anyone that's been a PSM, campaign 2, I don't care what the CPU result was, I don't care. Recruiting, good, bad, ugly, amazing, outstanding, world record. There's something to be said about that type of an experience being under that gauntlet, and I know that Orlando brings that knowledge and that learning, all the mistakes he made, all the things he did well. Those are all going to be part of his district success moving on this year. So I'm excited to have all of you giving it 100% attention. We just had some great salsa music and songs, so there's no reason not to give the black guy attention. The black guy. Hey! We got 4 of us here.
Nice. Awesome. So I want to start by saying, in terms of like Sunday and how Sunday goes, I by no means say I have it like perfect or hey, this is how it has to be. But what I plan to do with this message is at least give you the best ideas that I can from what I've learned through, vet DMs I've worked with Carlos, Patrick, Mike Bromwitz, Trey Harris. I've been around. I've been here for 5 years, so I've learned a lot. Yeah, so I'm just going to share with you what I've noticed over those 5 years, what works for us. And I know you guys have things that work, and I'm going to have part of this as a discussion as well, because I'd like to kind of get some clarity on having it more united, right? So in terms of Sunday execution, I want to start with, we all know, right? Sunday gets hectic as soon as it hits really calls start coming in, right? Like as soon as you wake up. And it gets even more hectic as soon as you hit the office and your receptionist. You're in front of your receptionist, calls are still coming in, right? Then you're on the phone trying to get 5 stars at the same time. Calls are still coming in. Your receptionists are in front of you, right? And then reps start coming in on 5, and then it's like chaos. And I call it beautiful chaos because, of course, it's like you're creating 2 things. And those 2 things are, the most important thing in a business is recruiting and sales, right? So that's the execution for Sunday. And I know you guys all know how to do the recruiting portion, right? We talked about receptionists and kicking off the meeting. But I want to start by talking about the sales because that's the one thing we have full control over. And it's going to come down to the PSPs and it's going to come down to the phone jam, right? So I want to start by talking about the PSPs. And in terms of that, the PSPs, guys, I believe, and you can correct me, but I believe that's what's going to set up your sales week. Throughout an entire week, you set the plan, you get the vision for sales reps, and not only that, but you get to hold them accountable. That's like one thing that you get a chance to do throughout the week. You do it on coaching calls. A lot of times you're not able to do it after 10 in most cases if you're a one-man show, right? You might be able to do it during the Wednesday phone jam. But the one time you get to individually sit down and like hold them accountable to their goals and then paint vision, and that, I believe, is something you don't want to necessarily delegate if you don't have to, right? But the cool thing about the PSPs is it's very simple. It's like quick 7 minutes, and if you do it the right way, it can mean so much for that rep long term, right? Because all we know reps need is like a plan, numbers. They just need to feel good. You're able to do that all in one PSP, right? You can set up a plan to get numbers, and honestly, if you do a great job, it should always have numbers, right? You do a great job throughout training, and you follow up. In advanced training, just going to do the thought joggers list. I mean, not everyone always did that, but that's huge. That alone is going to help them get numbers. You just have to follow up. That's a simple part. Follow up. All right, Jeff's going to do the work for us. You just got to follow up. So reps should always have numbers. You just got to get them to feel good, right? Create a plan with them. So I want to talk about that. We're going to dive into PSPs, and then we're going to also dive into the phone gym. That's simple. If you do it, you already know with Brian Helm, right? The day 3 expectation talk. I think that's a big one. That's going to create your sales momentum. The Monday through Wednesday conversation. I like to have that conversation typically through coaching calls, Thursday, Friday. And I'm not going to dive into that per se because this is not my message, right, on coaching calls. But I think you have to at least know like what that's going to come from, right? Like your phone game is really created before they even get there. Like you set the expectation before they walk in, right? So we're going to talk about that, but I want to dive in. So yeah, plan, numbers to call, feel good. Right, those are the 3 things reps always need, and you get to provide that with a lot of this. All right, so first things first, I think the PDI setup, right? Knowing like that is where, honestly, I'll say 80% of anything that you create is going to happen. A lot of your events come from those PDI, like the coaching calls, Monday through Friday. The cool thing is if you can get a Champions Club rocking, all you got to do is just see them and promote. One of the cool things I would say is when I ran key staff and pilot, my key staff meeting was a miniature version of my team meeting. I just kind of like ran through the promotion aspect, not like what I'm actually covering for key staff, right? Because it's really just fundamentals, right? But like the kickoff, hey, how's everyone doing? What's hot? Here's my opening comments for key staff. That was like the miniature team meeting for the night, right? That was just like a quick role play. Well, your PDI setup, I mean, guys, when it comes down to it, I know we said, hey, make your 5-star calls from like 1:30 to 3:30. But this is like your backup in case you weren't able to get coaching calls rocking throughout Thursday, Friday. Hop on the phone and create attendance. It doesn't matter like what you know. If there's no one in front of you, you can't use anything, right? If you don't have reps in front of you, and we all know like reps come up with the weirdest excuses, right? Like the most random, hey, I've never heard so many grandmas in the hospital excuses until I started working with that. I didn't know grandmas went to the hospital that often, right? So I want you guys to understand, like this is your backup, but really your attendance is created from Thursday, Friday coaching calls.
So they say like if someone like Friday, can you call them after 8 p.m. on that time?
That would be like, hey, I gotta get in touch with you. Like people I weren't able to talk to right away, I'm reaching out to those people right away. As soon as I finish up setting up my 5 stars, I want those kids in the office because we all know they didn't reach out to you because they're not doing well for the week, right? And those are the kids that need it the most. Is you got to get them back on track, right? So 3 p.m. phone calls, and it shouldn't really take you that long, right? Like an hour the most to really get in touch with all the people you really needed to. So I always do, when it comes to the PDI setup on Sunday, I just make it very quick. I confirm the arrival time. We already know what time they're going to arrive because of Wednesday. They told us what time they're coming in, right? Attack list organized. I love to always check attack lists. That's something we've gotten the habit in North Florida before, this last fall. That's one of the biggest focuses we had is driving the attack list culture. I don't know what you guys have done in FC with the attack list, but I think that's a cool culture we can all have is just focusing on the attack list because we all know if they have numbers to call and they're organized, reps would get the 5 demos booked up ahead every Wednesday, every Sunday. That's not going to be hard to do when they have their attack list organized. And it's easy to do that. Just sign-in sheet. Cool. What's your attack list number? That's it. That's all you have to do to figure out what their attack list is. Just add it to the sign-in sheet. Right. That's it. So I like to have that. And I would say the commitment. That's the one thing I will say is the commitment. We already know. Well, we already know that they know. They have to get Monday through Wednesday booked up. They know that from your day 3 intros or expectations talk, right? But I like to reconfirm, like, so we're on the same page, or we're speaking the same language. And that way they know I'm going to hold them accountable. I didn't just say it to you in training. This is what we do, right? And hey, your goal tonight was 7 appointments. Right? We talked about that. You have your tackles organized. Are you ready to rock? Hey, if we need to, of course, I'd like for you to hit your goal before 9 o'clock. But if we need to, can I get your commitment that you're going to stay at least till 9:30 to get that goal? And if you don't quite hit it, which it happens occasionally, or every now and then. This shouldn't be a habit, but it's going to happen. If that does happen for you, can I at least get your commit to stay till 9:30? And if you still didn't hit, we can follow up on maybe Monday morning, change the schedule. But I'd like to get the commitment before you come in. That's, again, a lot of your phone jam is created before you even get to the office. Right, so I'll get the commitment if I need to. A lot of times, like I said, this is normally what I would have done on Thursday, Friday. Okay, standards. We already know, like, hey, this is our minimum, this is our goal. We figured out that from the last Sunday. And we probably already transitioned on Thursday and Friday, whether they're going to be hitting their minimum or hitting their goal. Right, so then I'll talk about how that transitions into the Magic Monday promotion. And then it's really simple. If you have some support, you can make a list, right, of who's going to meet with which AM, because that does help with I guess retention, more to say, because you have your top reps, and we all know the 80-20 rule. You want to focus on your best kids, right? But if you have the support, you can dish off the not so top kids, right? So the support that you have, so that way they get the right practice. They can practice. I remember being a brand new AM. I was like, hey, give me the kids that can't sell, because I'll teach them at least how to get to their first promotion, right? You can turn that into a promotion. They're like, hey, I want you to develop these kids. Get them on my radar, so that way I can get them on Jeff's radar, right? So it's a good way to set it up when you have support. So you got that. And then the thing about the second prep, it's really simple. Get the office clean. Right? I mean, it's the easiest way to be productive is to have an organized space. Right? So room setup, I'm just going to share with you what we do. Right? I know everyone does something different, but if you have tables and chairs, everyone has chairs in their office. Some offices have a lot of tables, some don't. I know I'll probably not have a lot of tables, but I'll at least have 2. That ideally, I always wanted to have a table that I'm going to run PSPs here. Right? This is like the designated rep's going to be in front of me. I'm sitting here running PSPs. Ideally, I'd like to have it in the front of the room so I can like oversee everything. Right? If I'm a one-man show, I want to be able to run a PSP, see that this kid's not making calls, right? Be able to direct the room at the same time, right? And if possible, if I have support, that'll be my next table for the PSP. Boom, boom. And everyone else in front. Right? Whiteboard, boom. We got that. Sign-in sheet, as soon as they walk in, literally I would, in like the waiting room. In Tampa, what we do is we have a tripod, something like this, and it's simple. It's like directions. As soon as reps come in, they know what, like it's just a different atmosphere, right? Wednesday and Sunday are the 2 meetings that we have to like really nail. And if you have the event management down of Wednesday and Sunday, it makes everything so much easier, right? So sign-in sheet with papers needed, PSP info sheet, the phone jam trackers. We got that. Don't forget the supplies, rope and leather, right? That's something simple for you to forget, but reps need that. Right? So that's simple. You can make a list of these things. I don't try to memorize this by any means, by the way. It's very simple. When I set up for PSP, I just record it once on my phone, a video. The right way once, and then cool. If I ever need to set it up, or someone else, I need help with someone else setting it up for me, get an extra key staff in, I'll play that.
Too. So I have AV setup. How to set up a division manager, stage, and AV for a SC1. And very painfully one time I went through, or you take this plug and put it into this slot, and you turn this switch. I did it once, and I sent it to myself on WhatsApp, labeled as AV setup. So it's just very, I mean, you could also do it in a folder, I'm sure, but so I have AV setup, you could have DSP, you can have it on your as a chat, and all you have to do is forward it to that next assistant intern, to that next assistant, to make it a lot easier. People need, it's the whole role play. You need to see it. That's great. People don't realize
Yeah, I mean, we have technology, 2017, right? So most people are just still using it now. The big one, like I said, is you don't have to memorize all of this. I like to know what I need to have done, and if I need to, I can record it or whatever, and be able to duplicate it with someone else, right? My assistant manager, future staff members. Okay, board setup. I think it's different in every office. I've literally seen every different board setup possible. My favorite that I've just kind of like gravitated to, is just really simple for me, is on one side of the board, name, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, set goal. And the reason why I like to do the set goal, and I know not everyone does this, but here's my philosophy behind it. Here's why I like it the most. We know reps come in, they'll book the demos, right? But that doesn't mean they're booking it for what they need to. That doesn't mean they're booking up their Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're booking demos. It could be for Thursday, Friday, Saturday too, right? And of course, as managers, we're like, oh, dude, that's awesome. Great job. Book the demo. I want to know, hey, are you getting it for the days that you need to, right? They know they have to book a Monday through Wednesday. And I'd like to be aware of, cool, how far away are you from Monday, or how far away are you from your Tuesday or Wednesday? But of course, I'd like to know how many total you booked it, right? So really simple, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, set / goal, and then total booked. I find this is just the easiest way, and reps just, they do all of this. If anything, sometimes I have examples, and I just do a quick example here, so I don't even have to explain it. I just say, hey, go to the board, put your stats up there. You have an example here, right? So I just find this to be the easiest way. I like to know exactly like how far are they off from each day. So you guys can take a picture of that if you'd like it. But that's again simplest way I've found. Right? So that's that. That's your Sunday preparation. It's really simple. Whether you do a group meeting or you greet them individually, I think what's important is they need energy. Right? They walk into the office, it should be high energy, high tempo, music. You know, it doesn't have to be like loud, but it needs to be on. There needs to be some tempo going. And you're greeting, I love that Jeff mentioned this, if you don't have energy, give it. Right? Cool, like I will, even if I'm depressed or what, I'm rarely ever depressed, but the reality is like, even if I'm not in the mood to talk to someone, and you guys all have those moods, right? It's like, I don't want to see anyone right now. I will flip the switch. It's like, all right, cool. I have to perform, right? And if I don't have energy, I need to give it. And the moment I see a rep, that's cool. I need a burst of energy, right? And I think about whether it's a group meeting, I find the group meetings to just be really simple and quick direction, right? Everyone's like, you have reps that are in different spots. Some that have always been to a PSP, some that are like, this is my first PSP, I have no idea what I'm about to do right now. But they need some direction, right? So, music on.
So I think the confident way, vets, we can talk in your cap, going to be different. I think everyone, we just run a 5 o'clock group PSP. It's just the easiest. And then afterwards, you meet with people one-on-one. And the group PSP, I think, starts at 5 or maybe 30 minutes. It's, hey, if you're new, this is what you can cover. Things that you cover for if you're new, here's the deal. And here's what's important for the week. Here's a couple reminders, and here's the next push week, here's the next all-day phone jam. Don't forget, here's how we roll. Okay, everyone go. All right, and then you meet with the people, or who do you meet with first, one-on-one?
You have their goals set.
Okay.
The ones that already have their demos.
Yeah, the ones who already have everything set for the week, and then they want to get something fun. So I know sometimes we've done a range, you come in between 3 and 6. As a manager, the one-woman show, one-person show, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's chaos.
Right.
Not good. Chaos at that point. But I would say the group meeting definitely makes a huge deal. Yeah. So you got that, and I love the group meetings too, because then you get to tie them into the team goal. Hey, some of you guys have hit your goal, some of you guys haven't. But either way, hey, our team goal is this. So if all of you guys hit your goal, here's what can happen. For those of you guys that did already hit your goal, hey, how could you help us hit this goal? Right? So I love the group for that specific reason. Another reason is it allows you to, again, instruct them on the PSP form, like the info sheet. The easiest way to be productive on the PSPs is when reps do what they're supposed to do. The worst thing is when you're ready to do a PSP and they haven't done nothing. And that will happen if you have no instruction, right? So that's as simple as it goes. No rep leaves before they check out with you, right? No rep ever leaves the office before they check out with you. And that's another thing I would put on the board. It's like, before you even step foot out of the office, I have to meet with you one-on-one. Or a manager. Doesn't have to be me, but a manager. No rep leaves without checking out with you. So really simple. Arrival right at 5 is what I would recommend. So you got that.
And that checkout combo, I mean, I could obviously do it, but I think it could be helpful if maybe some branches see what an appropriate checkout combo would sound like.
Actually, have a doc on that. So if you guys open up the folder real quick too, because I have some docs that I'm about to dive into. And there's a few on there I included. One's a PSP meeting sign-in sheet. You can edit that for you in your office. And what I'm going to do is add the attack list on there. I believe there's another one for troubleshooting. But there's a simple one that's like a 7 to 10 minute one.
This one, I apologize. You know what? There's doubles. Orlando sent me all of his docs. He uses the Apple programs, Pages, Numbers, Keynote instead of Word. So I copied them into PDF for you. So which one do you want?
Yeah, if you can open up the, I believe it's just a Sunday PSP 101. Some of you guys have used the checklist. Some of you guys have used this document. I think the checklist is cool. This is what the checklist is made from this document to begin with, right? And this document, I just kind of tweaked it a little bit. So if you go with the one that says Florida United versus NFL, I just kind of tweaked a little bit of stuff in there to kind of tailor to just the time that we're in now versus 2015, right? So
disregard says Sunday PSP meeting NFL. Disregard that one.
And just take that and then just kind of made some small changes that just tailors a little bit better to the time. Right? I don't want to dive, well, I could dive into that document, but I think we all just know how to read. And honestly, if I sat down with a rep, what I do is I literally just read that document. Now, since I've done this for so long, like I don't read a document per se, because I know what's on it like verbatim. But if you're brand new and you're like kind of, hey, I just want to get done the right way, but not miss anything, just read. I'll literally pull it up on one side.
It's like the 10K Alliance PC, you just read it.
Yeah, just read it. Right, what do you need to have during the PSPs? Computer with WebPDI pulled up, Vector Connect, ideally both, on one tab, just, 2 different tabs. And then you have the PSP sheet open, right? Like, and now the Macs have it set up to where it's like 2 screens at once, right? Doc on one side, the web page on the other, work with the 2 tabs. That's how I would do it every single time. Like read, enter stuff, boom, there you go. That's what you would need to like effectively do PSPs right on time. So 7 to 10 minutes is what I've found it typically takes. Sometimes with your top reps, don't be afraid to take 15 if you need it, right? Like if it's your top rep, just be aware of what time you need to step into your receptionist room real quick every hour, right? Like you still have to check on your receptionist all throughout this process too, right? Beautiful chaos. So you got that. What the rep needs? Really simple. There's schedule plan for the week, PSP info sheet filled out. I know you guys in the FC have used the Sunday phone game trackers, right? And Wednesday and Sunday.
I'll cover the trackers.
What I kind of did too, by the way, is I put both, so you have both documents in there. You have the Sunday and Wednesday phone game tracker that FC uses. I love that, by the way. And I know NFL, we use the info sheet. But either way, I think both are great. And honestly, I think we can just combine both. There's some things that NFL needs on theirs and vice versa. So either way, they just need to have something filled out to make it a little bit easier for you and just quicker for you to have all the info they need, know what to dissect right away, what they need improvements on, what they did well, and then be able to put them into action with the plan, right? And what I've found, I also include included the weekly schedule sheet in there for you. I'll send another one to Jeff because I noticed like when you put it on PDF, it comes out in 2 split pages. I just kind of redid it again to where it actually fits the dimensions, right? But the document looks something like this, right? Reps will have this for themselves. Now, of course, your top reps should have planners, right? Like key staff, that's one of the things I do in key staff is like, cool, everyone on key staff, the first thing I do is ride with them to go get a planner or an assignment to go get a planner, right? Something like that. But either way, right? It has the blocked off meetings. They're not going to book demos in that time. There's no like way to write. Right? They can't write demo times. So I like to have this in front of or with them when I plan out the weekly schedule for them, right? To put them into action. Like, hey, if I were in your shoes, dude, right? Based on I know your objective, your goals, your objectives this week, what you want to accomplish. Here's what I would do. What do you think about that idea? And what are some things that you might want to change, right? And that's kind of like how I like to lead into planning their schedule with them. If I were you, here's what I would do. But what do you think? Is there anything you'd like to change? And that's typically what I like to do. But either way, plan the schedule. This is the PSP info sheet. Honestly, some of this, just a lot of words on there. I think some of this is going to be like kind of cut off. Probably like right here. I'll just cut that off right there. And then put the demo times on here instead because we need to know the demo times they book. So you got that. You can mess with it if you like. But before I move on, right? Mike mentioned the PSP info sheet. Just scroll down to the bottom of that 101 PSP sheet. That is the closing combos on there, right? To kind of send them into action. To either hit their goal or if they have already hit their goal before they met with you. All the way down at the bottom, you'll notice it just kind of has that combo there for you. That it's like, I mean, it's 3 sentences, 4 sentences. You can like easily memorize that just by doing it 3 times, right? That's a combo that I have all the time. And if it's like the top rep that I want to help, go off into the week or whatever the case is, it's like a quick Champions Club plug on there too. Right before you leave the office, hey dude, can I have your leadership tomorrow on Champions Club? Like, I need someone to like lead everyone, right? Like on the phone with energy. That's kind of like the conversation I'd have with my top reps before they leave, along with that, like 3 sentences at the bottom of that.
Which doc is it?
It should be the PSP 101s. Should be like at the bottom, like.
With this phone, lead them into action onto the phone.
Yeah. And of course, like when they have hit the goal. Like I just leave in action on the next event, Champions Club or whatever.
So
was that if we were asking about?
my point was, all right, hey Orlando, you said check out with you. Bye. I hit my goal. Everything's good. My paper's turned in. I got my rope and my leather. Just wanted to say bye. You told me to come up to you and find you to clock out with you because it said big bold letters on the screen. Be sure to clock out with manager before you leave. Bye.
Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, so on the phone game tracker, so like this, the old one I just showed you guys.
Are you asking what you do to make sure you?
Correct. I think everyone in this room could benefit from almost like checking out with the receptionist. What was the few questions that we asked the receptionist when they leave for their day after their shift?
What went wrong, or what
What went well with challenges, right? Something like that. Maybe those aren't the exact questions, but I feel like there's something I know working with that. There's something that you guys did when you checked out people like when they're getting ready to leave.
I would imagine, like if I'm just gonna guess, it's based on did they or didn't advocate their goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Mike, outstanding. You wanted 7, you got 8, you got an extra one that Orlando made you get. So hey, you keep this up, super proud of you. Just a reminder of all the events coming up. You keep performing, et cetera, et cetera. Flip the script. Hey, Mike, we talked to you. All right. Yeah, your goal was 8. Okay. What caused you to have a hard time with this? What was making it hard for you to get to 8? Okay, cool. Well, can I give you a couple tips? Or, you know what? All right, cool. I'd like to give you a lot of tips, but I'm a one-man show and I don't have time right now. But I have an opportunity where I can get you one-on-one time and I'm going to dive in and help fix this. Are you open to it? Okay. Get comfortable.
I would imagine something like that, or maybe even, hey, Mike, you told me that the goal was to set up 6 more, but you only set 1. I noticed you're in the corner, man, just texting on the phone the whole time. Sweet nothings to your girl. I mean, come on. So, I mean, that's cool, but it's not cool when you say you're going to do 6, you do 1. 2 in a row, you know what I mean? So, I would imagine.
So we're celebrating with vision,
right?
or we're supporting with accountability to whatever the next function in your schedule allows,
Yeah.
which would be Champions Club, probably Monday morning.
Right. Or we're holding them accountable. I'm sorry, not that third one would be, or we're reprimanding for totally not following through on agreements. So literally, you told me you were going to come in and book up 7 appointments. You're at 1. I'm okay with you being at 1. I really am, if we work towards 1. But what time did you get here? I don't know, right? And now you're telling me you want to leave 20 minutes early. So I want to help you, but you see how you're not giving much room to help you? Okay, look, you're going to go. If I tell you you have to stay, who are you going to hate? Right? Who do you not want to work for anymore? Right? So I'm not going to tell you to do anything. But if you don't do certain things, you won't work at making money. That's the problem. So you go do your mani-pedi with your girlfriend that you said you have to get to. It's fine. But just know the next time it won't be fine because you don't show up to jobs. We do agree you don't show up to jobs and tell them when you show up that you can't stay. Okay. But I'm going to let you go. How cool is that? The next time, no more. Agree? Don't high five me. Agree? Okay. See you tomorrow. Like those kind of conversations. Just making sure it's case by case. And that what you heard there, oh, that's awesome. That takes a lot of, I've had a lot of people quit after I talked to them to get to that. Right? But just set agreements. Little thing we talked about until like ask for permission before you give them a feedback. Don't make it personal. Address the results, not the person, and set agreements. You kind of stick to those guidelines. The words. Don't worry about my music because my music is 20 summers deep. It's Can I give you a comment that I think will help you? Okay. I think showing up late, 2 phone jams in a row. How do you think that's helping you? Yeah, me too. So you keep going on. If you want, we can role play accountability over wings and beer in a thing called sports. Not beer. Okay.
What is sports?
I always just say beer after. When you associate like the yin and the yang, so wings and beer always. Sorry.
All right, cool. Couple things with the phone game. Like I said, a lot of that was just kind of set with the expectation of them coming in with the right expectations to hit their goals. One thing I like to do, you're sitting here, reps are jamming in front of you, and just listen. Right? Like, listen out. This is one opportunity to get a chance to also impact your reps and get them good on the phone. I think big overlooked objective of the phone jam is to get reps good on the phone. Like they're in front of you, get the tips. You hear something that you know you're not nailing. Hey, do you mind if I give you a tip real quick? Great job on that call. You got it. Hey, do you mind if I share a tip with you that could help you? Yeah, awesome. Well, it's helpful when there's a rep in front of you. Hey, here's the tip too, right?
Anytime you have receptionists and reps, what was the book I told you to read? You guys, read it once before you go out again. Yeah.
1 minute,
Man
man.
manager. Always catch them what? I always catch people doing things
Right.
and wrong and address it right away. So, hey, John, before you know, can I tell you what you did really well there? Who's gonna say no? I don't want to hear that. No, don't praise me with praise. No, keep it to your damn self. Hey, can I tell you what you did well? Okay. Did you? I noticed how much I could tell she asked you a question because you stuttered, but you did. Pull the book up, read the script. Always read the script. So guess what that guy's gonna do? Always read the script. Hey, so wait, real quick, can I make a comment that'll help you? Can I show you something I think will help? Okay. I noticed what you did really well. You followed the script, and I noticed that when you read the script, it was upside down.
Yeah, that's good.
I've had it happen.
So another big key with the phone jam is just big attendance, right? We all know that. Big attendance is huge. And then a team goal on the board. That's one thing I'll do along with just like the names and Sunday, Wednesday, or Monday through Wednesdays. I'll have the team goal on there too. I really like the idea of just filling in. If it's SC1, I don't know if you guys still do this. I love this. It's just the SC1 and the blocks towards the team goal, like 80 demos, 80 squares. Put an initial and you get one book, right? I love that one. So just having the team goal on the board ties people into doing, right? Not just for themselves, but then for the team.
For the blocks, do you do that on your whiteboard or do you do that on a separate sheet?
Either one, I think would work. It kind of depends on the office. If they have space on the board, we got board. Makes sense. They're going to come up and update it anyways. So I think that's easiest. And then I got this from Mike, just like during the pushes, right? Like it was always, hey, real quick, before you make that first call, let's role play the approach or the objections, right? I always want to do objections because, of course, let's be honest, no one really is always on point with their objections, especially when they're afraid of rep, right? Like they're definitely not following their objections, right? We all know that. So just role play the objections real quick before your first call.
That's such a great point. I in the pilot, our receptionists always role play a call on Sundays, not on weekdays, but on Sundays we role play once. So essentially, it's a warm up. We're the 3 or 4.5 athletes here. Why do you warm up before a sport? What, so there's one book that said, "You ever see a lion warm up?" You're not a lion.
You see a lion warm up?
You ever see a lion warm up? No, but you're not a lion. You're superhuman being Carnassus. Most normal people will hurt themselves and have to have a permanent surgery underneath. They did something like that. So we're gonna warm up. I'm gonna warm up. I'm 39 years old, and if I don't warm up, I'm nervous a lot. Sorry, it's how I really feel. But receptionists, warm up. Phone jam, warm up. Why do we wait till the all-day phone jam SC1 to do this role play before master phone jam? Shouldn't it be the first phone jam? Shouldn't we? Don't we role play Friday, day 2, and then we don't role play again until the all-day phone jam?
Jesus, warm up time.
The committee does this all the time. As soon as they get to the phone jam, you check in. Okay, go role play.
So
And then I think it's just great warm up. The underutilized role play.
Yep, so that's a huge key for me. I like having people with role play before they hit the phone. And then after it, it's really simple, right? Get stats. Right? You gotta know how well you did that Sunday, right? Best way to do that is to like know your numbers. So figure out the numbers. It's cool though when everything's already on the board. Like just add up the numbers. Boom. You already know how many reps were there. Just tracking it on the board just makes everything else with the stat collection a lot easier. Right? Sign the sheets, or else you're just kind of like going off the dome trying to remember what reps came in the office, what didn't. Right. I'm sure Jeff is probably on this at some point. It's like, hey, how many were jamming? How many booked? How'd your Sunday go? Okay. Demos per head. Track how well you did that Sunday. Well, this is a big one. This is going to be obviously a lot bigger fall and spring. But like when I'm doing PSVs, one thing I'd like to do is have the active board, like active advertising board. But however you sign people up for active advertising. Uses what I found is just like a separate, like, small little whiteboard with just times you're going to be on campus. Or another big one too is Champions Club. So Active and Champions Club, both easy way to get signups here is the Champions Clubs. I'll have that on the board along with the team goal. What we're covering for each day. What video we're playing for each day, right? Hey, by the way, I know you needed to work on, right, like closing. Cool. Hey, there's a Champions Club at this day on closing. Want to come for that? Awesome. Get your name out there real quick. It's another big way to just kind of get random signups for people that might not come like the Champions Clubs. You're always going to have your kids that always do, but you're going to be able to get the kids that don't come in based on what they need to improve on. Right? So having the active ad board and the Champions Club board right next to you really helps with that. And then texting the appropriate reps to firm up. All right, the team leaders will active the next morning before you leave. That's an easy thing to forget. And just clean up the room. The worst thing you want to do is not clean up that day, and then we're walking the next morning and you're having to clean up before you have to start the event. That's the worst thing. Right? Just clean up.
You should do it every day like that, minus Wednesday. If you do team minus late, it's kind of tough. Or if you have staff, you should have the staff red zone. Hey, Mike and Dalila and Antoine, me and you guys, red zone for us is 2 things. There's 3 things. Red zone and training is the last part of day 2, which is the most important part. Red zone phone jam is hitting the last 2 to hit your goal. Red zone in the office is checkout, where everyone who's been part of Fort Lauderdale knows that red zone means, okay, you have 15 minutes to get the next list done, no more than 15 minutes. And we get all the trash out, air up, clean, spick and span, and it's 15 minutes. I say we do not go past 15 minutes.
So we get reps to help you with this. Hey, Johnny Rep, could you help? Can I ask you some help real quick? Hey, I'm gonna be on this. I also need some help with this, and I think it would be cool, because I'm looking for some future leaders and people I can build an army with, right? And I want people I can also trust and like to spend some time with. And hey, I need your help real quick. Could you help me with this? Something like that.
Can I give you another way to say it?
Sure.
I just need help. I need help. Can you go for that? And then maybe later.
Normally they always say yes.
Yeah, and then afterwards say, hey, thanks for helping. I'm looking to, I keep talking about meeting. I'm building an army, and just I like helping people. Thanks, man. You ever doing anything in school where you're helping out, service or leadership sport? Then you can do that later, but just you're trying to go. Hey, you have a hand. You're strong. Come
That was me as an man.
We
have to move a box. Where's Luke?
But just the other
I
time,
go to you when I need the heights.
because I mean, that's what I have to cover with Sunday execution. And again, I'm not sure if I covered everything, so I'm sure there's always here and there like small things that could be out there. But from the veterans or from any one of you guys, what are some things that maybe you guys have found that helps it to be more smooth and kind of like help with that chaos that you have on Sundays?
Being organized, right? Being organized with your files, where they all are rather. Having a checklist every week. We do inventory check every Sunday where one staff member checks everything. There's a list of this handout needs to have this many. If it's low, let people know. Monday there's a copy. Anytime it goes like the fuel tank, the light, same thing. Big tip on Sunday is making sure you have good receptionists that know how to do it, so you're not paranoid about the receptionists. You have to spend more time with them, and your reps don't get attention. It is chaotic on a Sunday. But, I don't know. I'm sorry. Any other tips on smooth Sundays? Smooth.
It's never going to be smooth, but smoother.
Melinda, thank you. It's good. I'm going. I want to share. Queen's going to help me out here. If you open up, it says Sunday tracker, and it also says Wednesday tracker. It's pretty much the same sheet. And I know, I believe in North Florida, you guys had a Sunday tracker, but then a Wednesday half slip. Actually, okay. So this is a Florida Caribbean thing since I want to say 2011. This is really Kathy. It's not me. And so they're the same exact sheet. And
On the
then,
back is a track.
yes. On the back of thing is our phone tracker. And then we have green, yellow, pilot, Inferno, green, yellow.
Sorry,
Sundays,
blue and yellow.
Yeah, blue.
blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow. And the colors are, we just decided blue and yellow. So
No,
we don't
color?
print this on white paper, we print this in blue. So when you see a bright blue sheet of paper in most FC offices, it's the Sunday tracker. You see a bright yellow piece of paper, it's the Wednesday tracker. Now you might, the reason we have a Sunday tracker, this is their checkout. No one leaves Sunday until they hand this to you. So this is kind of Mike's point. Hey, I'm just checking out. Okay, let me see your tracker. Before you go, and you can have those conversations. What's the main thing you want here? Well, what's this for? You want to see, even though it's on the board, you want to see how they did. Why do you want the times? So where do you put them? Where do these go? These go into web PDI, okay? And then, tentative demo, grandma's party might not do the demo, whatever notes. And then your Wednesday arrival for phone jam. Why is this important? When do you bring this back up? Tuesday PDI, okay? What's your area of opportunity so you know where to help them? Hey, I was looking at your sheet. John, I was just looking at your sheet and I noticed you were having a hard time with rapport. Hey, tomorrow during Champions Club, I could cover rapport with you. What are you doing tomorrow? I can meet with you tomorrow, I can meet with you next day, but I can spend more of a specific time. I'm a one-man show. I don't have the time to. Have you attended an SLDM yet? You guys know most of this, then extra PRs. The reason we have a Sunday is we keep the sheets. This is kind of a cool tip. This is, I don't know, Karina or Kathy. So we would keep all the sheets, and one would argue, why do you need the sheets? Because all the info is where? Yeah, we keep the sheets, and right away on the 101 PSP, we have the yellow sheet out. Whatever they put for their goal for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we go ahead and fill it in here. So, Karina, what happens when they walk into the Phone Jam Wednesday? We already know their goals. Yes, we know it's on PDI, but we hand them their tracker. They use this as their tracker, turn it around, and their goals are already set, so they can't change their goals. They go, this is from Sunday, so here we go. So they already have a Phone Jam tracker with the goal they set on Sunday. Because I would imagine most of you are doing what on Wednesday? You're just saying, hey, well, NFL seniors, what happens when someone comes in for Wednesday? How do you know what goal they have for their Phone Jam? Or are they just telling you when they walk in?
We look at what PDI, what they tell you Sunday.
Okay, cool. But
I mean, I do.
it's just easy just to hand them the sheet. Right? And this is more so for quick. If you have a staff, maybe you don't have to do this, but like we like doing this for the one person show. We just hand them the sheets already filled out with the goals, and then they just get at it. And Karina goes one step further. She writes their name and their goal already up on the board.
Nice.
They don't put your goal up on the board. They change it all the time. If you don't hold them to it, they will change it. It's always a lower number.
Yep.
And I would imagine if it's a web PDI, I'll get Mike in a second. I would imagine, let's say Rhiannon comes in and she told me 10 for the weekend on Sunday. If I would imagine in NFL you look up web PDI and if she writes down 7, you go, hey, Rhiannon, you said 10. Is that what you, something like that? Okay. There's something about just having the sheet that they filled out with you and just hand it to them, and that's their Phone Jam tracker. So maybe you can explain a little bit more. Clearly, haven't done this. Why keep this Sunday?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I do. And also what helps is on Tuesday, they have demos that they didn't complete. So a lot of them want 3 on Tuesday, if they only completed 1, I add 2 more to their goal on the Phone Jam. Because they still need to complete those demos. They need to complete them.
Technically, yes, you can do all this on PDI, but I think what I believe this is how many staff needs to go. Kathy made this big case for, and this is PDI was still prominent at that point. She just said, look, physically handing them something that you already agreed to. It was kind of like we had our contract meeting. I'm just handing you back the contract. Flip it over, work with the contract, kind of thing. So questions, comments. Sorry, Mike, I kept cutting you off.
2 questions. Number 1 is simple. The Wednesday arrival for Phone Jam, is that what time are you coming in, between 5 or 6, or is that a yes or no question?
Between 5 or 6.
Got it.
Are you getting earlier or later, right on time?
Cool. I just wanted to clarify that. And another thing is you're saying that you're going to fill in Wednesday, Thursday through Monday goal. Where do they put the daily breakdown on Sundays so you know what they are for Wednesdays on this sheet?
Say it one more time, and Karina, maybe you can answer that because I don't know.
So it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday set goals. Where's the Friday through Monday set goals on that they're doing on Sunday so you know what to write on those sheets for Wednesday? On these sheets that you guys.
That's PDI on Tuesday. We get their goals for the rest of the week.
So you don't do their full week goal on Sunday. You only get their goal Monday through Thursday. You get their goal. Okay, I want to get 10 for this week. I want to do 10 this week.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be 2, 2, 2, 2. So it's 8. Whatever.
Well, what I've been doing, because it is here just to get it all done on Sunday, is before they leave, I have web PDI open on my computer. All right, cool. Let's talk about the rest of the week now that you're booked up until Thursday. What are your goals for the rest of the week? I input that, and then on Tuesday PDI, I get the Wednesday sheets. I look at web PDI and I just transfer it over.
I apologize if I'm confused. You don't get the whole week?
According to that sheet, you don't.
That's where yeah. According to
You
this
just make
sheet,
a
you
new
don't.
one and have the whole week.
Previous NFL, we have a full schedule for the week, so that's where
Yeah, I think with the part of this was, okay, this is what they're using on the Phone Jam. Within how many days are you booking? 3, maybe 4 days. So on the back of this one is the Phone Jam tracker they use for Sunday that you're setting for only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so we can focus, so we can see how did you do in this window. Very similar to why Orlando had the picture and it said set for each day. Again, you might have set 5, but how many were for the next 3 days?
correct.
And then here, it's the same thing except from Wednesday through Wednesday.
So is there a separate sheet in between these that has their full schedule, the full weekly schedule?
He's saying he wants it on sheet of paper so we can get like Monday through Sunday, how many they want set per day. And I'm saying before they leave, I just put that manually
David's raising his hand adamantly. I want to call on him.
Since we do use these in the pilot, one of the things that I do have for all the reps, we have that separate weekly schedule. It's a full week, and one of the things that I have done with the reps is have them put for me everything, especially right now with the classes, what's their entire class schedule look like just in general for what their week goes to. And that way I know also I'm not going to contact these people during that time. I have them all fill it out, especially actually by AT1, I have them doing that sheet for me. And then we have that separate sheet, so that way for them, they're also putting in, they're keeping, this is mine, and they have their weekly schedule for them as well. So that's what they're like, they're phone jamming, and it's kind of like instead of in lieu of a planner yet, since they're reps and they don't have a planner, but they have that weekly schedule. And I have both of these.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm obviously not explaining correct, so
That's okay.
I'll try one more time.
Please do. I'd like to know that. Clearly, I'm removed from the PSP process.
Because I like what everyone's saying. I like that we're gonna, and on Sunday you're gonna say your goal for the week, and on Wednesday I'm gonna empower you because I'm taking what you told me on Sunday and I'm passing it back to you with what you gave me on Sunday, and it's already written in. I'm not asking you your goal. I'm telling you your
What are you
goal.
missing right now?
What I'm missing is I'm only getting Monday through Thursday's goals. So how am I going to write down what their Thursday through Monday goals are if I'm not getting them on Sunday?
Oh no, I'm sorry. The way I've always taught Ricky through Daniel through Powell through this guys is on Sunday you get their full schedule.
But we're not writing it on this sheet, or is there another sheet with a schedule on it?
I just don't want to see that.
I need FC seniors. What?
I'd be down to make that a full schedule. I like that. I'd be down to make Sundays a full. The Wednesdays I like it how it is because I don't want reps booking past 4 days. But Sundays I'd be down to make it a full schedule.
Yeah, I think the process is one. There's a reason why we do it this way. I don't think that's the way.
Why not just instead of making a full week of days for set times and goals, and then you have 2 phone jam trackers, one marked for Sunday, one marked for Wednesday on the back instead of one. Because on the bottom of the Wednesday, on the demo tracker on the back, there's like this weird spot for you to put the days and times of the appointments, which you don't really need because they already do it on the front, right? And they're going to give you the phone numbers and the addresses of the people on the QPR. So you don't really need that full section. You can really just put another grid.
Mike, you're asking for where's this part?
Yeah. Where it says, see the way it says phone jam plans, demo goal, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That is what he's looking for.
When you say what's the weekly schedule, you just mean how many demos per day you want to get?
Yeah. So this is an addition. So they're filling this sheet out in addition to the other one.
Well, this is ours.
No, that's
This
yours.
is NFL.
I never seen that.
I'm showing NFL right now.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, we have their full week filled out, so we have a copy of this. But I didn't see that on the FC sheet, so that's why I'm.
Let me talk out loud. Seniors, pay attention. New guys, just good luck. Okay, I'm just kidding. Process as best you can.
Because I like the concept. And I'm totally
Hey,
down
Mike,
for
let's
it
do
now.
your PSP. Okay, whatever Orlando covered.
That's this PSP sheet.
Yeah, Matt, I'm gonna do it the way I would do it. Okay, so I'm gonna take Orlando's what he just taught you guys. Hey, how's it going? And you do that little list for the 7 to 10 minute piece. I'm gonna have both of these out. One's blue, one's yellow, just so you can see it in the office as they mix. I have Web PDI and Vector Connect up. Vector Connect for their stats, for the order, any of the stuff that you would look at in the PSP for Vector Connect. I have Web PDI up. When I do their plan, all right, tell me, what are you looking to do? Oh, 2 a day, Monday through Sunday, so it's 14. Great. So Web PDI, 2 a day, Monday through Sunday. Here, I'm gonna put 2 a day here, and I'm gonna put 2 a day there. I'm gonna keep that one, and I'm gonna give that to them. Hey, when you check out a phone jam, fill that out. And the tracker's on the back.
You keep the Wednesday stuff,
Okay.
but you can.
And then when you come in and then you give me the Fun Jam tracker, the only reason I want the Fun Jam tracker back on Monday night, Sunday night, so that me, really my assistant, will put it into Web PDI and then use
Having
it
the two
for
sheets
your coaching course.
Clear it.
And then Wednesday, this is already filled out from Sunday.
Got it.
So when you show up, oh hey Mike, oh cool, you're here. There's your sheet. Go. Because we have what's called check-in, check-out. Check-in, you get your supplies. You get that. You get your objection sheets out. You just got to show us your Focus 5. Matt's done that.
Now so that means on for the week, you're putting both these sheets in a binder somewhere, like they have their own.
Yeah, just alphabetized by first names. Usually. We have a binder with all the blue, so if you open up the binder and the blue is full, it means it hasn't been put into web PDI Sunday night. Once it's done, you throw them away. Then it's an empty folder. I'll decide it's yellow. And it's all the ones from the Sunday PSPs. So when people are coming in for phone jam, instead of checking up web PDI, okay, what's your goal? Just let me find your name. Okay, cool. It's got to be, all right, what's your goal? All right, it's 10. Go, put 10 up. Let me see you put 10 up. Okay. Oh, hey, come on, Diego, hurry up. Okay, there you go. There's Diego. Okay. All right. Oh, I had to add 2 because you didn't get, remember you're supposed to get 5 appointments by today. You only got 3. So I added 2. Okay, where do you want to add those to? Here and here. Okay, cool. All right, go. Put your name up, go. That's.
Yeah, we've been missing this element. I mean, in my office, this is why I'm like asking to engage in this because we're missing this. This like.
That's, Karina, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
That's okay. So to answer your question, I think the original NFL sheet has all Monday through
Correct.
Sunday. How many games you
has
want?
one right there.
We do too. We just kind of separate them into 2 sheets, so it's focused for Sunday and focused for Wednesday. But you fill both these sheets out fully in front of them Sunday when you sit down with them at the 7 to 10 minutes. And then the blue sheet, they check out. I like them having a sheet of paper that says, if I'm a rep, I don't leave my Cutco office until I give this piece of paper, blue on Sunday, yellow on Wednesday, to my manager.
Yeah, the way we start our team meetings is like everyone yellow sheets forward, yellow sheets forward,
That's
yellow
it.
sheets forward.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, blue sheet, come on. Oh no, on Wednesday. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
like-
Wednesday we'll just start blasting
Yellow
music. It's
sheets,
like
come on.
yellow sheets, let's go, and everyone's just like passing up yellow sheets and getting seats.
Antoine, you guys did this. This is what I said is what you guys did.
Yeah, well, we did it Monday, Sunday, they would come in and fill out just one. And then on Wednesday, because I put it all in one EDI and I would like, we just did it.
So this is Kathy's program as of from 2011 until 15, let's say. So I think for sake of the new guys, if you're in NFL and you've already done PSPs, you do what you know. If you've never done PSPs, just do this. I can coach on this. Say it again. If you've run PSP, like read whatever you're comfortable with, do that. Don't, unless you think, oh, I can change to this, it's no problem. But if you've never done PSPs before, do the program that I can coach you on very quickly. Okay.
There's value in this. There's
I
definitely a
listen
lot
to
of
it, I'm
value.
like, holy shit, I need to shower.
As long as it's
Like, I don't even know what to do
systemized.
with myself.
We just missed a little bit on the system. And, yeah, that was good. Thanks for clarifying that.
So
Sorry.
in an ideal world, I walk around to every office, I drive to every office, and I see a bunch of blue sheets and yellow sheets. Now I know that isn't always perfect, but when I go to Kathy's office, she has blue and yellow sheets. We have blue and yellow sheets. Kathy has blue and yellow sheets. So
Why blue and yellow?
some random stat being Kathy. So let's
It's
just.
actually butterscotch, but
They've been yellow
Yellow.
sheets for as long as
It was always yellow. It was yellow when I moved to Florida.
Yellow's
so
for Wednesdays?
yellow.
Oh, I remember that when
It's
I
just
went and
bright.
watched.
You know why bright, the blue and yellow? Because I think Kathy at the time just went to the store and bright, so you can't lose them because they're so important.
feel that.
I think it was just a bright color. She just happened to pick
Yeah,
blue.
if they're white, they go everywhere. So
Yeah.
like schedule sheets are green, Sunday sheets are blue, Wednesday sheets are yellow, my demo tracker is purple.
Yeah, I think there's a color code. I don't know.
I don't know, I made.
There was too many. She's expanded. We've had 2 colors from the last few years. There's a blue one, a yellow one. Everything else is white paper.
Where do you get your copies from?
Staples or Office Depot using the Cutco discount. Super cheap. So.
You're
and
prescribed by hand by our personal monk.
Yeah, but he's sick, so.
That's why we use staples.
Okay. Big takeaways. We'll take a break. I want more energy on this next stuff. Big takeaways on this message.
Just getting more structure as to what needs to get done, because we've always had like a general outline, but I think how to break it down, what needs to get done, really detailed. So I really
Okay, good. Other takeaways from vets. Carlos, what do you guys do? The first sheet that.
Yeah, what Orlando had that like.
If you're, I don't need to change anything that's going to confuse you, but if you like this and you can go to this confidently, do it. See, this is one of those things to me, I think. Everyone's wired differently with organizations. And if you haven't unified on if it's not program across the division, you got to go what's confident right now. So I'm just showing you what we did in FC. Orlando showed what they did in NFL. If you've never done PSP, we're doing this. And I'll explain it more.
So you're saying we're filling out both of these during PSP and then basically giving them their Wednesday sheet on Wednesday when they come in. That's already filled out.
Yep.
I like that.
And the yellow sheet. Think of the sheet as their piece of paper that they can't leave the office until the piece of paper is verified. It's like a passport.
Go through customs.
Pasaporte.
Go through customs.
Okay,
That's customs AM.
I have 5.
Dave.
Let's take 10. Thanks, everybody. Nice work.
I got the PB.
Yeah. How are we feeling?
Amazing.
We have,
Are you really amazing? Are you really amazing? I am. I don't know.
it's 5:13. We've got to about 6:45, 7 latest. So we're gonna have Carlos come up and give some productivity thoughts. And then I'm going to quickly review our push program. But from a calendar standpoint, you notice May 9th we have a staff meeting. I'm just gonna give a quick breakdown and overview. In fact, we'll give you the FC, former FC program, like system laid out of what happens in the week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out. And we already kind of did it in the calendar. We will go full blown in what are we gonna cover during the alliances, how do you run an alliance, how do you do the 10K PC, all that stuff is the May 9th staff. Right now, if you have no people because you didn't recruit, it doesn't matter. That's one thing I want to say. And every year, every year we say that because you can be really good with your alliances and have them all planned out. But if you don't execute recruiting, we don't have an alliance, we don't have a team, and so forth. So, thoughts so far as we go into the very last year. We're in the fourth quarter. It's a sports analogy. We're in the last part of the game. We're in the fourth quarter in basketball. The fourth quarter is NBA. 2 halves in college. 2-minute drill, red zone. 3 periods. How are we feeling? Big takeaways as we go into the stretch from the first part of the meeting, or what we're excited about, going into the cap, what we're excited about going into this weekend.
Systems of accountability. That's what it looks like.
Just move your wrist a little. Go ahead. And then higher up. Go ahead. Got it. He's like,
You're getting the right form.
that's right. Other thoughts? Thanks, Mike. So for all the first years, if and when you make the very smart decision to go round 2, the biggest difference between round 1 and round 2 is round 2 you have your systems all in check. Round 1 you're still trying to learn and do the systems. Round 2, all right, like Rhiannon, it's gonna be interesting when we have calls and you go, oh man, what used to drive me crazy last summer is replaced by this, which is way more complicated always. And what is now easy is now systemized or have assistants, and that's what makes it. I mean, I remember Andrew's giving his letter of intent for round 2 / what he not complained, but we had a hard time with his first branches. I don't have my plans, my push weeks planned out properly. I didn't execute alliances the right way, and when I'm running training, no one talks to the team Friday. So we have Antoine, the assistant, talk to the team on Friday, and I said, so what really helped us? So just that one thing, like little things, or having a system on how to stay organized with the alliance. And it's different for every person, but wouldn't you agree if there are 3 things you're not confident in, but people can specifically create confidence in those 3 things? Even if it's false, you're confident? Yeah, but I got the 3 answers that give me the worst anxiety. I'm ready to roll, and that's one summer to the next. Speaking of one summer to the next, it's really cool to see Carlos. I want to show you something cool. I came to his team meeting the other day, and you guys know Carlos' story. He worked with me as the PSM, and I would appreciate this. So talk about the difference.
Oh, so don't say nothing.
Cool. I remember that summer again. That was a fun summer. Carlos, I think, what has been really exciting to see Carlos do, personally and professionally, is he loves to. He's just a sponge, personally and professionally. Not just he goes cross training to learn business programs. He doesn't just love listening and meetings, all the things that aspiring division managers want to do, or have to do. He also, like the life lessons. I think some of my greatest moments as Carlos being my PSM are well, tell me, and how do you know everyone's name when you walk into the restaurant, right? Or how is it that you do this? And just little life lessons that were probably passed down to me from people like John Kane and Al D and all the great people I've met with. And he's such a sponge, and it's so fun to work with Carlos. And when Carlos was back in NFL and he left the division as the PSM, from the PSM, I said, Carlos, this is a great example. Always keep good connections and always treat people well, because you never know. I said, Carlos, one day, you never know, we'll probably work together again. And ironically enough, here we are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go. See, you have to smell that one. So productivity has been It's really cool to see Carlos thrive with productivity. Had his best summer this past summer, and I can tell you big things coming to town. So big round of applause, Charles Cordero.
All right, everybody has a handout? Nice. Nice. Okay, so yeah, originally it was like hour for this, and yeah, we're gonna do it in 30. So here's the deal. With everything that we've been learning with this recruiting of 5 stars and, you know, with what's in our control as our PR program, I think it is more important than ever that we really button up with PPR, right? I always wondered, like, how does Drew Frank just crush it? Well, all of his kids make money. All of them. Your PR approach doesn't matter when you're like, yo, your buddy made $400 this weekend. Are you coming or not? Like, none of the objections, the sex trafficking doesn't matter when people make money, right? So it's more important than ever because now it's all going to be PRs. So they're going to talk even more. And now you're target recruiting. So if you target recruit and then you mess up the PPR, you're PRing in the wrong way, if you know what I mean. So what I love about productivity, and this is one of the things that lately I've been diving into, because recruiting is one of those things, like, once you understand how to run an interview, okay, you run it. You know, once you understand how to run a training, it's like, okay, you run it. And then I remember when I was a pilot, it's like, how do we go from 700 to 1 million? And the answer was always, hire more PR callers, spend more money. And I was like, man, okay, but when I'm paying the bills, like, I don't want the answer to always be like, spend more money. You know, there's a way to run it smarter. What I love about productivity is that it's free. It's free. What it requires is more energy, and that's the thing. It takes more energy, it takes more focus. And that's why the average manager has average productivity, because they're average. They don't manage their energy. They're not constantly reinventing themselves. They're not constantly looking for the best practices. You know, a lot of people get complacent. They get excited. They're like, yay, 400K summer. No, like, you got to constantly be reinventing yourself. So what I'm going to share with you are things that, you know, I've taken from the Brian Hurlmans, things that I've taken from, you know, Drew Frank. I can't take credit for any of this stuff because it wasn't mine. I just stole it from them, and I'm using it, and I'm kind of making it mine as I use it. So, you know, one of the things that I'll preface this with, because you can go through this document, it's literally plug and play. If you don't know how to run training, you could run training with this, and these are like the keys of where to nail it so your kids will sell. You know, one of the things I read about on leadership is, like, a leader's job is to help people think bigger than they would think without your influence, right? So one of the things that I got from these Southwest guys that had this crazy, like, you know, I remember when I was watching and they had 3 people show to day 1, and I'm like, I drove like 5 hours to watch like a 3-person day 1. And Brian Stevenson goes, that kid right there will sell 6K this weekend. Watch. I was like, 6K first weekend? Like, I've never seen that in my 10 years at Cutco. Maybe like once or twice, you know. And he's like, he's gonna sell 6K this weekend. Watch, we're gonna get like, that class, those 3, they'll sell 8 Gs. I was like, okay, they sold 8 Gs. I was like, you know, here's why.
They really?
Yeah, they did. You know, the kid sold 5,500, another kid, and their training was like short as can be, and I was like, boom, on BOs all day. And what I realized is they do a couple things really well. Number one, they think your reps will only think half as big as you'll think. Like, that's one that's not in the document that you have to like internalize. If you're thinking like, you know, grand ahead first weekend, by the way, in our region, like the average first weekend is 500 because we make such a big deal. Grand ahead first weekend is like this awesome thing, you know. So we're thinking a grand ahead first weekend, they're probably going to do 500. If we're thinking 3K first weekend, they're probably going to get 1,500. If we're thinking 6K first weekend, and you're speaking a big game, and you're setting these expectations about, you know, big stories, and, you know, people going out there and having big fast starts and 10K first weekends. Well, they don't know anything different. It's almost like when you're on your demos and you're like, Ms. Jones, I know you didn't expect to spend 10 grand, you know, when the night kid came over today, right? Like, these little seed plans of like getting them to think big, they don't know anything different. So you got to keep that in mind with your sales reps. You know, one of the things that they also said was, you know, would all of you in the room agree that we have the best product in the history of products? I would feel that way, you know, like, guaranteed forever, use every single day, every single person uses it. I would also agree that our training process is one of the best in the country when it comes to teaching someone that has 0 sales experience and to teach them how to actually go out there and like create a sale, right? And I also feel that we as leaders are developed to where we can get things done, but why is there this mental block on how it's so hard to get someone to get 3 orders? You know what I mean? Like 3 orders, like that. That's like this big thing. So a lot of productivity just comes from talking to people that are crushing productivity and seeing how they're thinking. It's almost like as a rep raising your average order, you just talk to people that have like ridiculous average orders, and you're like, they're thinking differently. When you think differently, you start acting differently. So, and you have to get your reps to think differently from the interview. So you'll see, you got to plant seeds, number one, with like the work that it takes, right? So what part-time is, what full-time is, making sure that all of your recruiters and yourself are speaking the same language, right? Like, part-time, 7 to 10 appointments a week, it's like 1 or 2 a day. Full-time, 15 to 20 appointments a week, it's like, 3 a day. Fast start, going off on that in the interview, the perks section. That's a thing that's written right there. Day 1, you have to quickly flip the switch from this is a like show training to this is a sales training. Like a lot of I feel like in the past couple years ago, people were like worried to like say sell and we're selling Cutco. It's like, dude, they showed up. Like, let's be real. Like, no one shows up to a sales job to learn how to make the minimum, especially with the way that we're recruiting. The way that we're doing this 5-star interview, the way that we're like planting seeds. They're showing up expecting to sell. So let's give them a training where we're going to teach them how to sell. So one of the little ones, this is kind of backwards order, but right when I'm doing, and I know I gave a message over Skype or FaceTime to some of you guys, and I got some feedback, and some of the NFL people, like you haven't heard of this. The first one that's massive, right, is, so once training's finished on Saturday, what can you start doing, right? And some kids say, show me, selling Cutco, like making money, doing appointments, helping people get Cutco in their homes. Like right there, you're going to start selling. So that's the first thing. You've got to get that word selling, helping people get, I think crucial, right? Helping people get Cutco. That's really important as well. And most of you guys will go out there and get your first 3 or 4 sales right after training's finished, right? Setting the expectation, 3 or 4 appointments right after training's finished that same day, right? And then you have all day Sunday. A lot of you guys will choose to go and do 4 to 6 appointments, 4 to 6 sales that day. Right, so you're setting the expectation of selling. You're also setting the expectation of the number of what? Exactly, appointments that they're going to be completing that first weekend. So, I also like saying 10-80-10, right? So it's like, I know that it's some of you in the room. There's some of you in the room, like there's 10% of you that you're like, holy crap, it's my first job. What did I get into? That's totally cool. Take a lot of notes, right? Information is going to give you confidence. Then there's 10% of you in here that are like, yo, screw the training, give them the knives. All my friends are crushing this. I could go sell this right now. Like, come on. I get it. Take a lot of notes, because if you the little things make the biggest differences, right? Especially when I'm teaching you the presentation. Most of you in the room, you're nervous, but you're confident at the same time. You're like, how will this go for me? That's exactly how you should be feeling. I'll tell you, take a lot of notes and, trust. And this is something I got from them. Ryan Lear, their PSN, just goes, you got to just trust what I say. You haven't done this before. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not nervous at all, right? If I was nervous, I would. By the way, we wouldn't give you, this is something I always say in my office. I'm like, we wouldn't have given you the job if we didn't think you could be successful, right? Like, we wouldn't give you the job if we didn't think you'd be successful. And they're like, so if you're not confident in yourself, be confident in me. That's exactly what we said earlier, right? If you're not confident in yourself, be confident in me, right? Follow me blindly if you need to, right? But I won't. If you just follow what I say and trust what I'm going to teach you, I will lead you to the Cutco's promised land, right? And like they kind of laugh, but that's the thing. It's they have to just, if they paid attention to everything we said, every kid would go out there and sell $1,000 their first weekend. A lot of them will sell 3. Okay, so that the interview seeds, day 1, there you kind of go. Stop bys, making sure that you're getting the right stop bys. That's really important. The always call. We've heard that from the Brian Hillman, right? Like, if they like the knives and for some reason they're on the fence, what's the only reason they're on the fence? Because of what? The price, right? So guys, you want to call. Is it because we want to make a bunch of money off your friends? And the way you say it's really important. Is it because we want to make a bunch of money off your friends and family? No, we want you to be a great salesperson. We want you to be a great customer service rep. What do great customer service people do? They help their customers get what they want. If you're in the store and you can't find what you want, what's a great salesperson do? They help you find it. So if your customer likes Cutco, make sure that you call us, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give them a sick, nasty deal. We'll lower the price. We'll give them some more free stuff. We'll find a way. We're going to help them get it if they like it. Now, if they tell you I don't like the knives, I'm never going to use them, then don't call. But let's be real, is that going to happen? So call, right? Never leave a demo. Never leave a no-sell without calling. And that's written in there. I mean, just watch the training for the 90th time. Like if you got the summer and like suck, it's completely your fault. It's like, come on. It's really not. It's really not. Stop bys, right? Different types of people. It's really important. You know, make sure you get like your sharp kids. Make sure you get like the ones that are like, that kid does this. I love those, especially in front of the whole class. It's like the kid comes in and it's like, hey, how long have you been working here? You know, 2 weeks, and you know, there's questions and whatnot you could ask. Frame the questions to get the answers that you want. Namesless exercise. By the way, too, like I remember being like scared, like what are they gonna say? They're not gonna mess it up. Like, are you serious? Like, they're not gonna mess up the stop by. Even I had a kid say the price of the homemaker. I'm like, oh no, the kids, everybody still sold the same amount. It wasn't a big deal. You know, when I was new, I got like, oh no, he said the price of the homemaker, freaked out. But it's all a mental game. You're like, yeah, okay, cool. The kids don't even remember. Let's be real. They're listening to like 18 hours of what you're saying.
I feel like I want good productivity. I feel like I'm a good man. Under there. To the functions. I've done it for a while. The point you made is that it's the expectation. So I used to freak out when people would say, "Oh yeah, in the homemaker, I mean it's like 11 something," but I think that's the end of the world. But I genuinely know and understand that kids have MacBook Pros that are $1,100. I genuinely know and understand that people have $1,100 classes. I genuinely know and understand. So I guess don't get so caught up in what's not important. What's important is that you have the right people in front of you. And a lot of what makes these great tips so great is not the exact words that he's saying. It's just that there's a confidence, and we set something very important in training that they have no clue how to set for themselves, and that's what? What are we setting?
Expectations.
We're setting their expectations, and they go to blank canvas, and how terrible they are, how great they are, is based on our expectation setting and in training. But also, who's in front of you? So you don't want 10 C's and 20 in your training. So you want 3 A's and 2 C in your first 1 or 2 training, and build from there. So I'm trying to make it full circle back to the 20%.
Oh yeah, I mean you could run a great training, but if you've got a bunch of C's in front of you, the value talk's going to be like.
Absolutely, that was me this last summer. I ran the train. I mean, I said, "Pop, I didn't go backwards in my training. I'm still Jeff Gamble. She's like, "Yeah, sir." She smiles and says, "So give me that." So that's rewind back here. I know there are going to be a couple of things why I couldn't say it like that. It's funny when you get really sharp people in front of you that honestly will probably sell no matter what. You get way more confidence. They sell, you should say. And well, it's like that, right? Yeah, and I just say that they sell. It's not true. You have sharp people still anyway, and you're really confident. So be careful. There's a lot of things. Productivity is a tricky thing. Tricky is because well, they said this and their people said they said this. There's a balance of what type of recruiting they have and a combination of this. So just that's why it can be very new guys, especially most of you are new. Don't get so caught up in the exact words of how to say it. Just get caught up in what expectation you're trying to get across to.
What's the concept? Like if you understand the concept of like why call in, right? You can come up with the words. If you understand the concept of why Miss Jones should buy a homemaker and not pieces, you'll sell it because you understand the concept of pieces, right? The same thing, you know. That was huge. I think about namesless exercise, right? Oh, by the way, half your kids, they're PRs, like half of them saw a demo, so they know the prices already. Right? Stop freaking out. That's what I realized. The kid's like, yeah, I saw my buddy do 2 of these. Cool. So you know the price already. Cool. Namesless exercise, right? So giving them 30 minutes, making sure that you give stories as you're doing the names list. So something I like to do is I give stories like, yeah, I remember, I didn't know who my neighbor's name was, so I wrote "guy with red truck." I went home and I was like, Dad, who's the guy across the street? He's like, oh yeah, John and Lori. Yeah, what's their name and number? He's like, I don't know. I walked across the street and I asked, hey, can I do a demo for you? The guy bought a galley set. It was awesome. Right, so like giving little stories like that. I remember, my neighbor, my grandmother's neighbors, right, during the thought jogging, talking about how the names you were writing down ended up leading to sales and success. 100 names and numbers focus. That's really important. 3 times. By the way, this is a Drew Franklin. 3 times the amount of names and numbers is demos in your fast start. So explaining that concept, right? Something that they do very, very well when they're demo teaching. This isn't in here, like teaching the demo. Right? When they're teaching the demo, they're setting the expectation. When they go in there and they're talking about the fast start, right? And in the manual it says fast start goal. He goes, yeah, everybody's goal for their fast start's either 10K, 15, or 20K. Yeah, 10K, 15, or 20K. Like 10K, 15, or 20K. Like, which one's yours going to be? And he'll be like, yeah, so 10, okay. Yeah, 15K, okay, cool. What's yours? 10K, okay, 15, okay, cool.
Sure does that?
He does. Because everyone's goal is, yeah, 10, 15, or 20K. You know, why wouldn't that be your goal? You know, like, just setting the expectation. That's like saying we only have 3 sets of students, right? It's not that foreign when you compare to selling, right? Like, yeah, these are the 3 sets. And then if you need to, you end up dropping down. So it's the same thing when you're doing your demo. It's like you're running train. Yeah, everyone's goal is like 10, 15, or 20K, and your sharp kids like, yeah, 15 Gs. Like within an hour of training. By the way, think about how they go through training when they're in their head like, yeah, I'm selling 15K. And when you explain the fast start concept, like, yep, it just reaffirms everything versus like, I hope I make a sale. Right? It's different. Oh, is it a question of whether or not people buy? Like, how often are you saying that question? It's a question of people buy, guys. Let's be real. It's a question of how much, right? Expectations equal reality. Fast start talk, going off on dirty 30. You know, yeah, look at it. It's written there. Bust your butt. Everyone hits 10, 15, 20K in the fast start. You know, it's something the top 10% of people in the company do. You know, it's awesome. So the pay talk, making sure you're ripping that, smashing base pay. There's the key line. It's like welfare in case needed, and no one's probably making it. Commission levels going off on that. I break down how easy it is to sell $1,000. Guys, you want to know why everyone hits 1,000 their first weekend? Well, honestly, most people do it your first day, probably your first demo. You know why? Guys, come on, let's be real. $1,000, okay? Who remembers the average sale? 300. I'm gonna say that you're like below average. So none of you in here are. 250, right? And I do the math. I'm like, 6 appointments. Now, 6 or 7. Let's err on that side of caution here. Now, is it possible that you might have 1 or 2 or 3 rescheduled? That's why That's why every one of you in here needs to schedule time. Because even if you do 10, now that's not to say that some of you in here might do 10. You're going to schedule 10, do 10, sell on 9, and sell $3 grand. That happens all the time. But I'm going to show you like here's why you can. This is why everyone does it, right? So showing the math on how easy it is to sell $1,000. Day 2 keys, confidence in cut code, cutting clinic, value talk, get good at it. Something that at this point, all of you have probably watched the value talk. Here's what'll change the game in your value talk. When you're doing the whole like perspective on money, I'm telling you, this is gonna change the game in your value talk. If you're running training, like this is easy. Pull out your calculators. All of you pull your calculator out right now. Watch this. And then it's like, oh, when you're 5 years old, it's $5 to you, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to when you're 30, right? What is every 30-year-old married couple, when they get married, what's the first investment they want to make? Cool, right? So their first home isn't really like massive, right? Their first home is like a decent home. Let's say it's $100,000. Now, by the way, in South Florida, let's be real, you're not finding a $100,000 home. By the way, just so you guys know, a trailer is 80 grand. A single wide trailer is $80,000. So you know that the down payment is 20%, right? So if it's a trailer, it's 16 grand. If it's a home, guys, put 20,000 in your calculator right now. I know some of you are writing that. You never had 20,000 in your name. I know, it's because you're 18, right? So 20,000. Now, what do you got to do? You got to buy a fridge. How much is the fridge? $1,500. So add 1,500. How much is a washer and dryer combo? I mean, 1,000 for like the cheapest, 500 each. So add 1,000 for that. What about the stove? How much is that? $1,000, right? Add $1,000, right? What about and I go through everything. I go, and then I go, what about leather couch, love seat thing? And they're like, oh yeah, $3 or $4 grand. And then I say, oh, what about your mom's bedroom? Did she sleep on the floor? No. What do you think she paid for her bedroom, her mattress, or blah, 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 blah? How much do you think her bedroom was? And the kids are like, 10, probably 10? Yeah, 10. How many rooms in your house? You didn't sleep on the floor, did you? How many rooms in your house? All right, 3? Okay, 3 rooms. So maybe your room's not as nice as your mom's. Say your room's like $3 grand times 3. That's 9. What number do you have now? And they're like, oh my god. I'm like, yeah. What about TV? What about entertainment center? What about this? And they just keep adding and adding and adding. And I'm like, we haven't talked about cars. How many cars in the driveway? They're like, 2, 3. Yeah. How much is the average car? Probably 10. Okay. What do you got now? Oh, we're just getting started. Right? We haven't even talked about you. So it costs 200 to 250,000 to raise a child. Let's say they're 2.5 kids. Let's just say 2. What number do you have now? And they're like, they've got this number on there. And then the last thing I say is like, who knows someone that owns a beach house, a lake house, has a vacation home? Maybe they pay for a grandmother's house, something like that. And your sharp kid's like, what's that mean? They did it twice. And let's be real, they're not, I mean, most parents, most of the homeowners you're showing, they're like in their 40s and 50s. They don't live in the same house they did they don't live in the same house they originally bought. You see now why like what's $3,000 to a homeowner? What's 1,000? You see what I mean? And like that just changes the game. Your values all that.
Go back to the 20% rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, to sleep on the floor, they might have.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny. I know I try to be funny all the time. And half people laugh, and I love you. Okay. Rhiannon, you always smile at my jokes. God bless you. I know. Okay. But when you're doing home examples, when you're saying, you ever run a training and you kind of give people a chance, and every time you talk about how much things cost, you get a reaction that's not positive. Oh, I can. That's because we put the audience in. So think about when you're saying, and who do you know that has a beach home? Beach home, damn, I got nobody. No, I don't want that person in my training. I might have one. No, actually, I wouldn't have that person.
Even if you have the one, they won't say anything because they don't have anyone to build rapport. No one's going to connect with that. Right. They're just going to stay quiet.
If you only have 20% of someone who's going to comment and not relate at all, they're going to be to the side 20%, so it doesn't really affect your training. But when you're only, it just takes all your energy, and they can't relate to a home because they're in apartments. So here, here's 25 grand for the down payment. We live in an apartment. We don't own a home. No one. We live in an apartment complex. So just food for thought on what the type of people. No matter how good you get at training, if you don't have the right people in front of you, it's not. They don't have to be 5-star, A+ prep school kids. But you have to minimize the C's that drag.
And then the last one on the value before I'm gonna just, the other ones you can read it. The last one on the value, it's not there. It's the one that says, who in here eats out, and I name off restaurants. Like, who in here, maybe, then after that, I'm like, by the way, guys, just to give you some little food for thought. Let's talk about food. Who in here knows for a fact they go to like Jimmy John's, Chipotle, and I would name like local restaurants, right? Jimmy John's, Chipotle, Applebee's, blah, blah, blah. You go to this and that, Starbucks, bento, sushi, at least 3 times a week, and everyone's like, college kids, 3 times a week, and would you agree it's like $10 probably on average? Like, yeah, that's $1,500 a year. All of you can afford this. All of you can, with the money you spend on Starbucks, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, and things I'm not going to talk about. Right? And I always get a little laugh. It's like, I know I'm not stupid. I was born in 99 last night. Right? But like that's just something like that. Even they understand with like the little money. They could afford it as well. So it gets them really thinking. Targeting your high flyers. The big one is asking every kid who their best 5 customers are. Who are your best 5? Who's your number 1? And talking about that. If you set the right expectations and manage who they're seeing first, they'll sell. Manage who they're seeing first, and don't be afraid to say, hey, here's the thing. You can't see that one first. No, you can't. Because I just know that they're not going to do well. I know it's not going to go well for you. And then you have the analogy, right? The whole basketball thing. You ever seen a little kid play basketball, bunch of big kids? What happens every time they shoot? How do they feel? Bad, right? Same thing. I know you want to practice, but you don't want to practice getting beat up. I know you want to practice. You don't want to practice losing. Right? That's not fun. Here's a phrase I always use. And this is a Drew Frank. This is the first 5 demos you do are not for practice. They're for confidence. And I say it 3 times. See, because the first time you say something, it goes in when you're out the other. The second time you say something, they're like, okay. The third time, it's like, okay, I'm going to do it. Third time, they're committed. So I'm like, the first 5 you do, they're not for practice, they're for what? And they all know, they're confidence. Okay, so make sure your first demo is a guaranteed sale. Like if you cut her by mistake, she'd still buy something. She'd go, oh yeah, that was nice. Clean cut. Where do I sign? That's who you want to show first. Whose house did you go to for Thanksgiving dinner? Show her first. Easy, right? So making sure that you manage who their demos are going to be. I do that in the day 2 PC. I do that again on day 3 when I'm going through their schedule. Right, that's really important. Target your high flyers. Keep it simple, right? Mental expectation. Normal. If you show your best 5 customers your first weekend, let's be real, you're definitely selling 1,000. You'll probably sell $3,000 because it happens all the time. Think about the words I just used. You're definitely selling 1,000. Probably 3. Not hopefully, not maybe, right? You got to eliminate those wimpy words from your vocabulary. Just like you would on a demo, you definitely need to eliminate them in training. Phoning throughout the weekend, so getting them to constantly be on the phones. You can offer pizza on day 3. This is day 3 stuff, offering pizza for them to get to 10 demos. Making sure you understand hope is not, success is a choice. Hope is nothing. That's a talk that you got to really understand. Selling sets. There's some videos, by the way, that you could just play. Just play them. Danny Feldman selling sets. That's how I start my day 3. I'm just like, oh, watch this. And they're all like, okay, I'm ready to sell sets now. It does it for you. One thing that moved the needle for us was whenever I was teaching closing, I pass out Sharpies and I have every person on page 9 write down, call Carlos, verify pay. No, I want you to write a Sharpie because if you write in a pen, you're going to forget. God forbid you forget, because here's the thing. See, Mr. Gamboa, watch it. Think about this, guys. They manage and monitor how much we pay people or what we're paying people. So if you don't call from a demo, how do we know that you were there? I mean, anyone can fill out some paperwork. How do we really know? Well, I mean, if they fill out the paper, okay. No, guys, I mean, you have to call, you have to verify your pay. So what you have to do right there is you have to call the office and say, hey, Ms. Jones, after you show the homemaker set, and whether she's buying it, you're going to call. If she's not getting it, you're still going to call her and say, hey, Ms. Jones, I got to call my manager to verify my pay so they know that I'm here. And if you have the 10% of customers that are like, honey, you don't have to do that. Be like, Ms. Jones, I don't want to get in trouble. I just started. I got to call. Hold on 1 second. And don't walk out. Just call me right there. And then what I've been able to do, and I do this on, and by the way, I don't talk to my reps from every single demo because and here did I say, I'm like, you think we're not just having you call so you sell more knives, we're having you call so you learn how to close. There's only so much I can teach you in the next 3 days. Most of your training is going to happen on your appointments this weekend, so you do it to further your training. So what I do is on those first nights of demos, I just talk to Ms. Jones right there, and then I can easily pick up, is the kid not building enough value? Are they not cutting food? And you can pick up what the objections are that they're getting. You can handle the objection. You can kind of lead them through the drop down and then have them call when they're done. And then you talk about it and that kid is just locked in. It's almost like field training. Every single one of your trainees the first day. I changed that, boom, PPR went through the roof. Getting recommendations, make sure they memorize it. Here's a big one with Rex, is teaching kids how to ask their close friends and family again. That's a big one. Because there's a lot of times when they go see their aunt, they could have given them 40, but she gives them 10. You know what I mean? So I share a story from my first week, and I remember doing a presentation for my aunt, and my aunt is works at a high school. She works at a high school. She knows everyone. And I remember I asked her for recommendations. She wrote down 7. I was like, damn it, Donnie, you know everybody. You're a teacher. Look me up. Come on, look me up. And then I went to the bathroom and I came back, she had 40 written down. You can't do that for everybody, but for your really close friends and family, just ask again. And then you have kids that come back with tons of recommendations. Why is that a productivity? Because that is their retention. That's all they're here. So that's big. The offering 20 recs or offering a peeler for 20 recommendations, day 3 expectations talk, I'll later talk about that. Wrap up talk and training, that's big, talking about the 3 paths. The 6 keys to success, think big, have fun, good student, just watch training, and you'll get that. Assignment, right? So assignments, right? Making sure there's an assignment. This is how you crush it on a 1-person show. Making sure that there's an assignment of completing a number of demos. Now, granted, his assignment might be different than mine. I didn't know what numbers that you're using, but I use the number of if every rep completed 10 demos in their first 10 days, we would sell a good amount of customers. That means you'd have $1,000 faster average. If you have $1,000 faster average, you got a $2,000 productivity for the summer. Your faster average is usually half of what your PPR is for the entire summer. It's a weird stat that is really true. So if I can get every kid to complete 10 demos and that's the assignment, my average will be $1,000 for the fast start, which isn't too bad. So, and then if you have the right kids, your right kids complete 10 demos, let's be real. We all know those kids that do 3 their first weekend and sell $1,200. You're like, what if this kid did 10? Right? So I give the assignment. You have to minimum complete 4 by Monday's advanced training. And I know it's, but I'm just saying minimum complete 4, by Monday's advanced training. And I hold them to that in AT1. And then in AT1, I tell them 2 more by Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, I give them the assignment again of another 4. That makes sense? I think that's 10 right there. 4 by Sunday. I do 4, 2, 4. And then, most of the time you're not holding people accountable because the numbers are really low. But then there's those few that if they fail, it's like you didn't hit the assignment. You can't blame me. You can't blame Cutco. You can't blame Vector. You didn't hit the assignment, right? And I told you needed 30 numbers your first week, like your first night. Let's be real, right? So the assignments are written in there, and I'm sure we'll talk about that on conference calls. You know, quickly, 18-1, nail it. He's going to nail it for us. Yes. Powerful team meeting talks about, you know, recognition, teaching through recognition, coaching calls every day. Don't let a rep go into a demo cold. I would highlight that one. Do not let reps go into a demos cold. So that's important. Making sure you have some sort of demo tracker. Do you know when your kids' demos are? Do you know how many demos you have today? Like, what business that is a real business doesn't know stats? They're not a real business. They're running a hobby, right? So if you want to run a business or something, you have to know how many demos you have today. Like if I called my office and I was like, Sean, how many demos do you have today? And he's like, I don't know. Oh my gosh, you'd probably be fired. It's like, come on, man. Like, you got to know. Like, or you're not doing your job, right? That's the thing. Like, we're not doing our job. Like, what are we talking to our kids about? Nothing. Like, if it's not about demos, what are we talking to them about? So making sure that you have some sort of program of where you're writing that down. And I try to call every kid before their first demo to get them fired up. Okay. And the last thing would be like, you know, the Danny Feldman PC program. The names list one is how to expand the list, right? You ask them, where'd you go to high school? How many kids go to your school? How many demos do you know with them? Oh my goodness, out of all those people, how many do you feel comfortable calling? Cool, write that number down. How about your mom? Where does she work at? How many people does she work with? Oh my goodness, how many do you show? 1 out of the 99 left. How many do you feel comfortable calling? 40, yeah, write 40 down. And then the number at the end is usually really big, like 200. I chop it in half. I'm like, can you commit to that number? And then I'll say, can you at least get 30 by the next time I see you? So that's the names list PC. Goals and scholarship is how to share the goals, which that's something that was part of the Champions Club workshop this last summer. The closing is just how you get them to do their drop down in front of you, and then you do it in front of them, and then you just talk about the differences. And that is like for a lot of them. And I know the easy way is just play the video, but for your top kids, right? Like, you can't do this for everyone. You can't do the Danny Feldman PCs for everyone, especially if you're a branch. But can you take your top 20% and make sure that they get this type of attention? That is what's important. In my office, our goal is to PC every rep every week. Like, that's my mission. Is we've got 5 AMs now. I want to have 10 by SC1, so we can PC every rep every single week. And if that happens, holy crap, we could recruit the same amount of people. We're going to sell a lot more cutthroat because they're getting more attention. But if I couldn't, I'm going to make sure this happens with my top. If I've got 10 that I'm launching, I'm going to make sure those 2 kids, I wrap onto them, and I'm making sure they hit 10K for the summer. Because I'm going to do this. And then the last one is the napkin talk. That's just talking about, you know, the future. Hey, you know, what could happen? You know, it's just kind of fun. What could happen? You ever thought about that? You ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about being a branch? So you ever thought about being a branch? You ever thought about having my job? You know what it's like? And it's pretty cool. So that's what I got. I kind of like rushed through it. But the document, you got it all in there. You know, it's all in there. Just read it. And if there's any questions like, what is this? Shoot me on WhatsApp. What does he mean when he says this? And watch a lot of training. Like, that's something I still do. I've been running training since 2009. A lot of you guys were like in middle school in 09. And I'm still watching videos. Like, before I run every training, that Wednesday night, I'm watching videos. That Thursday morning, I'm watching videos. Like, Sean would come to my house and he's like, watching videos. Yes. You know, because I'm still trying to get better every single day. So if you take that approach to your training, and by the way, Luke will tell you, that's what he did. His first training, well, it was like your first training.
3
like,
people all quit by 18-1, didn't sell a dime.
What'd you just do?
I just watched helmets training, scripted the whole thing. Next training class, average 16K a person.
Ask Andrew. Be like, Andrew, what'd you do? It's like, yeah, I watched training every single night. When I was a branch, I fell asleep to watching Jeff Gamboa in that little tiny pilot with there was like this weird lamp right here on the side in that Baltimore office.
It's called a target lamp, okay?
I was falling asleep to this guy's voice. It was awesome.
16K a person.
Yeah, that's what they average for.
All my top reps were in that. Grant, Kirsten, Hannah, everyone, like
20%.
The worst was 3K. The worst one was 3K fast start.
I mean, you have to really understand the 20% rule. Mr. Jeff taught us earlier. That's huge. That's step 1. Number 2, don't sleep on this freaking set 5, man. Like, are you serious? Like, if you don't set 5 PRs a day, like, our WhatsApp this summer for all of us, here's what I saw. When I was in Brian's office, he goes, dude, check out your WhatsApp. And it was like, and we went to lunch. He's like, look at it now. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was like PR. every time anyone in this division scheduled a PR, they posted on WhatsApp. It was like PR, and then they're like, got my 5, got my 5, got my. It was like a competition. They were like smack talking each other. Like, I got my 5 before noon. Who's up? Got my 5, got my 5. Like, I'm telling you, that program will change the game. And just watch some training. Go through the document. If you review this before your 10 seminars you run this summer as a branch, you're going to do well. You'll hit the company trip. All right? And just wake up early.
Yeah, what was the last thing?
Yeah, like wake up early. Wake up. See at your office. You know, don't let your reps call you.
Watch this. I know the answer. Look, what time? What was your deadline on getting to the office?
7:45.
Say this was. None of you are, of course. Some of you are. And I can tell you half the branches. These branches will get in at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So, there we go. Carlos, nice job. Takeaways from this message. I'm going to do a quick review.
No, you're good.
I love it. Yeah, haven't added up. But had C's so they know how to relate. I know how to do C's.
And they have cell phones.
That's right. Dalila.
I would just say like the simplicity of it all. You can just take everything and literally as long as you just know the concept and you just sell it, like just like your confidence.
Or if you're a first year, you really slack on your training of training. You understand what I'm saying with that? You're a first year and you're slacked on the training of the training seminar. Don't answer. I don't know for the West Coast guys who that is. I have an idea on FC who that is. Right? No, it's is what it is at this point. You're not going to master the seminar, but you can certainly cram-ish and get something out of it, better than nothing. You and I, we took a walk around Carlos's office. I said, if anything, take confidence in what? That you personally have what? Yeah, so as an assistant manager, while being a full-time assistant, you sold how much? 24 grand?
Yes, you did.
Right? So I'm using her as an example. Many of you are this example too. I can point to like 6 to 7 of you that I know. I know you've sold a lot of knives. So what Carlos covered is, I know, oh, you just implement those tips. You don't even have the base. How do you implement those tips? Some of you still get the first some of you are still getting the opening comments and having a hard time getting those out. It's tough to do it in front of people. But, and that's that's the cool thing of the process. Just remember, you sold a lot of knives. When I was the #1 rep in the nation, I ran a branch in '99, 2 summers later. I had $3,600 PPR. I had 26 reps, so 125 grand. We had a small team, no one really quit. I launched 26, and I think at the end of the summer we had 14. And we said, wait, we were tagged at 124 and change. I missed the trip by $600. Cool, nice job. Okay? Never was. But I knew how to sell. My training seminar was kind of awful, but I knew how to sell. If I told you, hey Vargas, here's a kid. There's no time. In 2 hours, can you get Haley to? Yeah, I got it. You all can do that, correct? So don't try to overcomplicate and try to say what Carlos said or say how Jeff did or Matt runs this awesome training. That takes time. That's round 2. That's round 3, 4, 5 since 2009. Like he was saying, you're not going to master the seminar. No first year masters the seminar. If you've never run a branch or any office before, no one masters the training going into the first summer. Not Rhiannon, not John, not Blake, not Luke, not Andrew. Okay, so let's just start with that. You don't know the training. But if you hit the big 5, big 6, right? With the comments, games, let's talk, value, red zone, expectations. Those are in PR talk, big 6, sorry. If those talks, you do those the best, and the rest, we'll see. And the rest, find a video and play it. In some cases, something else. Okay. If I can get your laser focus, Mike's going to really easily engage you. My stuff is not as engaging because I just want to go through the push program quickly. We'll go more detail. If you just do a brand new set of notes, and then what we'll do is give me 15 minutes, quick overview. We'll do a quick break, and then Mike's going to wrap us up. Can I get that attention? Yes? Okay. Take a look at the calendar here. If I were to say there are only 3 things you need to know to have a rockin' SC1 push, because on May 9th, we will cover the detail. We'll cover the following. How do you run an alliance? How do you set up the how do you run it? How do you drive the phone jam? How do you run the all-day phone jam? How do you do a teams contest, vet games especially? How do you run a teams contest where everyone's broken up into mini teams, they keep the track of all points, everyone puts $20 into the cash pot and you match the pot. And the winning team gets a team night with that pot on and drive sales like that. We do all that here. Your number one job is to get a lot of people. Here. Okay? And here, which is the all-day phone jam and committed to building an alliance. The number 2 thing you need to do to set up the push, and I could teach you everything we do in a push, or I can just tell you what's important right now, is when you have reps, make sure you piece it them appropriately. You go to, do this real quick. I have it. It's in the folder. We already have the 10. This is the full push.
It's in there.
Right? And this is for every push. It's not just SC1. You just fill in the blank. Okay. You can adjust it. Vet. Some of you have different versions. That's just a model for confidence. Okay. There's also a really cool colored kind of. Well, I'm going to revamp this. Our goal before an FC, I don't know NFL if you did this, we would get people excited and committed by using a sheet that looked. Let's get a long time ago. You guys seen something like this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I think after 3 or 4 years ago, after division, we just printed, put their letterhead, and just send them, right? That's how it works.
Someone asked me who's Jeff, because I was using
Okay. You know what I do nowadays? I just send out the person who made this document. It's easier. But so there's one revamp for every single push, and on the Wednesday before the all-day push. So here, there's a succession of videos, and you get that sheet, and you find out who's committed. Previously, look at the bottom. I have some juice for the laptop. How do you know?
Dave told me. He's good. Dave told me. I can't take credit for that. They're good.
That's really interesting.
We make a great team.
If I take the 3 of you and all the experience with me, it's a lot of food eating. Okay.
Do you see us? We're the heaviest people in this room.
Okay. So what we used to do is this, and I want to tell you a big debate and a light bulb for me. So we would get people, all right, well, if you're not all out and you can't go all out, but you want to participate and play a little bit, we have the 5K Alliance. And so as far as the alliances goes, they're Monday through Friday, but you can just do these, you can pick Monday through Friday, and you pick 2 of them. And then we had a 7,500 and a 10K Alliance. And if you want to go big, what I'm finding, and I got ragged on at the DBM tape at the meeting, where I feel like we're capping it, where you want to find 10K, all or none. And if you have someone who's not going to go for 10K, we don't disavow them. They don't stop selling Cutco. We don't un-PBI them. We just don't put them through this process. What we're finding is, especially if you're a one-person show, you have to make it so you don't complicate things. Now, vets we could have, if you want to bring it to your cap, if you do want to have layers, I think I'm going to encourage you against it. But you do what's most confident for you. I'm going to eliminate all this, and this is what happens when you're in the 10K Alliance. You get the Gamboa conference call if you're on the 10K Alliance. You come and get my personal coaching Monday through Friday for 2.5 weeks if you're on the 10K Alliance. Well, I don't want to commit all out. Great, hey, you're a big member of our team. I just can't put you on the 10K Alliance. That's the main point. We'll talk about all the details later. Any questions on that? That's my push talk.
That's it.
So, and
May 9th.
SC1 push is a recruiting driven push. SC2 is a productivity push. People always say, well, how big SC1 is almost always directly correlated to the recruiting power of SC1. So drive SC1, get as many people on the alliance as possible. Cool, any questions so far? That's my push talk. And my other abbreviated talk, which makes sense to abbreviate now, is the second part of Carlos's message. So, Champions Club. When you're a one-woman show, you can't get a lot of time with the people, but I've seen branches do it all the time. Tyler's a sharp kid. He walks in the middle of my training, so I stop everything to talk to Tyler because he's sharp. He needs help. Just lost her whole training. Sharp rep receptionist, sharp rep Rhiannon comes in and she wants to quit a certain, or she wants to get time with you, and maybe she's one of the C reps. You ever get that? Hey, you have a second? In the middle of something big. Let's see, the new branch will say, yeah. And I'll say, you know, Rhiannon, did you have an appointment? Oh, I'm on that show. I can't just stop, but call me. I'll actually hold the kid. Take the kid. Take the kid. No, because you don't lose that. You might not see them again.
Yeah.
I'll hold the kid, and you wanted to talk. I'll take care of this. But call me. I'll get a time where I can give you my full attention. That you deserve. I've found I'm a one-man show. I can't just stop. But a lot of the new guys will stop. I'm bringing that example up because it's the same thing with productivity. First year, second year branches, the best way to get productivity is get them to all the events and run group management. So what Carlos talked about, and Mike alluded to, ponging them. It's an old school term, or I won't even go into it. Okay. You get them to event. You go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days of training, AT1, AT2. You've got a good rep.
SLDM.
Okay, I'm sorry. 3 days of training, SLDM. Wednesday team meeting, PSP, you're good to go. You get someone to PSP, you get a good shot of retaining that rep. That's layer 1. Layer 2, which, again, this is the joke that Luke, Andrew, and I had. Past 5 summer conferences. In fact, I've given the talk 3 out of the last 5, and I begged not to give it 2 years ago, and I refused to give it last year, which is the rep target. I'm not giving the damn talk. I'm not. Without even looking at this, is you have a high fly work, everything's laid out here. You pull back your best people, you have a conversation, everything's laid out here, right? What the conversations look like when you pull back top 50%, what does it look like at the end of day 2? There's the links to the high fly workshop on day 3. One of the NFL, I forgot her lady's name, but she scripted out the whole, Gabby Newman. So she scripted out everything. So it's all there. The key is making sure you get people in attendance of that high fly workshop. I would say, Luke, would you vouch for this? If you do it right, you should get 75% of your launch to the high fly workshop. Right, just promoting it. And then we can talk about that another time, looking at staff. But get the high fly workshop, and then what's great is we have everything already laid out. And we're going to change this. This is subject to change, but the first one was you teach them that there's a scholarship approach and there's a script for it. You're essentially teaching them how to build rapport better than they already are, which is probably terrible. Okay, so that's day 1. It's simple, and then they're there at 8, on the phone from 8 to 9. You teach them the thermometer approach. Give them a thermometer. That's day 1. We'll see tomorrow. Day 2, we did recommendation because you want to start with that skill set early, and then we went on to skill sets of sales. So it was Carlos and then 2 heirloom talks. The DVM team, we kind of revamped it. We do like recommendations number 2. It won't be Matt with the new training manual. And then we'll decide, I like to keep Carlos on the 3rd one. And then the last 2 we'll decide that Ben Jackson.
I have a good one. So yeah.
Okay, I'm open to all I just send it.
No, it's getting more prospects. It's like
Having more prospects.
I'm open. Ben and I are in charge of putting us together because we have the team training. Okay, so I'm open to all ideas, specifically from vets, of what day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The secret weapon that people also don't do is this part right here. Is the high flyer workshop number 2. This one right here. Everyone gets pumped about Saturday morning before day 3, and most people are trying to get them in Monday through Friday. But that Friday afternoon from 4:30 to 6:30, it's phone jam number 2. Remember the training when they got all those appointments on Friday? Why not do it one more time in their fast start? They still have fresh leads. That's what's missing. What's great is that when you bring someone in who's going through the fast start process, so you training, you have a one-on-one, we call it the double DPC in honor of David Delgado. One-on-one, you map them up for 10K fast start, and they start coming to champions. It's on the dot. That's the second high flyer workshop on Fridays where they come in and they make phone calls, but they're making phone calls on Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 in the office, the same time as who? The trainee, so you have a forced stop by with really your best people who will be here. Hey everybody, I want to introduce this is Dorcas. She's here for her high flyer workshop. She's actually, remember the 10K fast I spoke about? Right, so she's going to go for 2 to 5 grand in income this weekend. She's going to hit that VIP night. So she's here making phone calls for her first weekend, or her second weekend. Dorcas, remember last week when you made it for the first time? Can you give some tips to the new guys? And it's going to create so much buzz of phone time, confidence right before the first call, and come to the office. And I can't remember anyone that came to that Friday high flyer workshop that didn't sell 6K plus. I can't remember the last time. So, just a quick version. That's a perfect. Questions, comments? Okay. It is now roughly 6:10. 6:07. Can we take a quick 10, everybody? No more? Let's refresh. We're gonna wrap up the cycle round. Let's do that. Good.
until February. I never ran a training seminar. And then they put me out into Naples, Florida. I wrote my first receptionist check taking sales tax out of her check. Sales tax, 7%. I didn't know how to write a check. And she was 37 with 2 kids. I obviously didn't know what I was doing. Went out to do 108 grand that summer. Person sold 20, and went back. Told Matt, I was like, I'm done. There's no way. That was the hardest summer of my life. Went to Olean. Jake Bailey has a conversation with me. Again, Art of Promotion. He says, Mike, did you get everything you wanted out of Branch your first summer? I said, not really. So that's why you should do it again, and walked away. It's like, but wait, I have a list of reasons and excuses on why I shouldn't do it again. And they didn't even give me a chance. That was it. That was a stump speech. And how do you know it was effective? It's because what? 10 years later, I still remember it.
Yes.
Fast forward, go through Branch 2, went to West Miami, sold 200 grand, and then I go to Olean, and I'm about to graduate with my engineering degree. I'm there. I'm in Olean. I'm confident as all hell. You know, I just did 300 grand combined between my 2 branches, about to graduate. And then I'm sitting at the table with Amar DeVay, Scott Dennis. I believe maybe even Jim Stitt was at this table. And I have Amar on this side of me and Scott on this side of me, and they're both talking to me about how awesome district manager is. And this confident, arrogant, overconfident, 2-time senior branch that's being recruited says, that's a good seed plan. I like that. That was good. Oh, I see what you're promoting there. I see what you're trying to get me to do the district thing. I see I already been through this gauntlet already. And then Jeff pulls me aside. Like, take it as a compliment that we're trying to recruit you. I mean, and essentially put me in my place.
You're saying a lot nicer.
And put me in a place that I was so uncomfortable because my intentions were not in a bad place. I wasn't trying to be malicious and disrespectful to my seniors. It was just, I thought it was funny. But it was just a very immature way of me approaching and receiving them trying to recruit me into being the district manager. And it was very interesting. From that conversation, I left Olean. I decided to write a letter of intent, not turn it in to anyone. And maybe 6 weeks later, I read what I wrote. And coming from that conversation I had with that I had with Amar and Scott, one of the things that they promoted to me was, if you go anywhere else, are you going to continue to grow and develop as a person? And that was one of the things that my letter of intent I still lead my business through is, will I grow and develop as a person? I think the power of what I'm getting across here, and I want to get across here, is the power of a conversation. The power of what we say. It's not always just how we say it. Obviously, context is important, environment, proximity, that's important, but what are we getting accomplished with our words? What are we getting accomplished with the choice of words we're using, the timing, who we're talking to, and how much of an impact it can play for 10 years later? Which is why I really am excited that Jeff offered me the opportunity to teach today and talk and walk through the art of promotion. Why to do it, how to do it. We're going to have some fun with it today. What if you knew, I want you to imagine that if 10 years from your summer right now, you created an impact on somebody else's life because you seed planted a potential that they didn't know existed. Imagine for a moment you get an email or a letter in the mail, or even better, you see them on TV because you took the time to compliment, encourage, or insist that they go to an event or hold them accountable to whatever it is that they needed to get done. Because of your influence and your ability to persuade and communicate. It doesn't have to be sexy, but there are some skills and tools that I put together in a handout for you. So if you want to go ahead and pull that handout up, it is on your It is in your the file folder. What is the ability to promote? What is that? I would say number one, I know you can't like highlight, it's a PDF, but how to influence habits and decision making. How to influence habits and decision making to create a desired, some sort of desirable immediate action. So we do this all the time as sales reps. Sales reps we promote all the time. We promote how awesome the set's going to be. We promote recommendations. We do this as a sales rep. As managers, see, as a sales rep, we're promoting a tangible product. But as a manager, we're promoting an experience. We're promoting the next event. We're promoting a person. So it's intangible. So we kind of use the same skills, but so this handout kind of talks about how to do that. I want to show you instead. So I asked the two blondes, the best friends, the amigos. So I want to have some fun with this. Do you guys want to see a little promotion battle from the two blondes in the room?
Yes.
I do too. So I'm going to have Rhiannon, and I definitely want the two of you to stand next to each other because that's hilarious. So I'll have Rhiannon come here.
Always.
And then Luke, you're going to come here. So Rhiannon, you can stand on this circle thing. And this circle thing, there you go. So understand. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to give you a chance to promote. I'll give you something to warm you up with, okay? And then something that we'll get a chance to like really get see what you guys got, okay? Rock, paper, scissors, see who's going to go first. You don't know what you're going to promote yet. So, best 2 out of 3, of course. Done. Ready? On shoot. Rock, on shoot. On shoot. On shoot. Yeah. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ooh, she got you on one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ooh, oh! Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh! Do you want to go? So do you want to go first, or do you want to defer? Let's go first. I'm gonna double check this one. All right. He's gonna go first. He's gonna go first. So Luke, what you're gonna promote? This grab pen. Grab pen. So blue. So ready, set, and promote. You have no more than 30 seconds.
Have you ever thought about things that you could write with this pen? You haven't? Think about the endless possibilities of things that you could write with this pen. Think about all the things going through your head, all the ideas you ever had, everything that you ever wanted to do. Now go ahead, write it down. Where's your pen? I'm done. That's good. That's pretty good. Right. No, you're up against. You know how that was ending. No, you're up against. I don't think GC will also be so have the advantage. All right. That was pretty good. 30 seconds on the clock, and go.
Carlos, would you say that a pen is something that is necessary in business?
For sure.
Would you say you'd be able to run a successful business without a writing utensil?
Probably not.
Probably not. So, do you want to run a successful business? Do you want to make money? Do you want to live a good life? What's your definition of a good life?
Oh. Home, car,
Home, car.
security.
What if you don't have that pen to write down your dreams?
I guess I need the pen.
So I think we need to take a vote real quick. Let's take a vote. Small boss.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I was like,
So-
oh shit.
So now let's draw out. So I want everyone else to draw out real quick, and you could use your handout, and we're not done yet because we're going to talk business in a moment. So let's draw out. The principles are all laid on this handout. You have the handout, like how to, different scenarios of what. But let's draw them out. What are some of the philosophies? Philosophies, it doesn't matter what you're promoting, it stays the same. So, and then I'll ask these two. I'm going to ask the two of you, what did you do? What were you trying to get accomplished? Let's have them draw it out first, but you're going to tell what were you trying to get accomplished with what you were saying. Who would like to start? What were they getting accomplished? What can you draw out from what they were doing?
Finding a want.
Finding a want. So this is where it might make sense to like write a list somewhere, but you guys can make a list or put something on there. So start with a creative want. Not yet.
Oh.
No, they're actually going to promote like business in just a moment, but I wanted to take out the principles first. So they found a want. What else? Good. I still come back to what else? What else were they accomplishing? Creating a pain. So there's creating a want, creating a pain point. Same thing. A pain point. A desirable outcome. Using questions as a tool to dig. What's in it for them? What's in it for the person they're talking to? Anything else? Cool. We'll go to Tall Blonde first. You got less votes. So what were you trying to get accomplished?
Trying to start small, build big picture, and then how is this tying to that big picture?
So start big picture and then narrow it down. Love that.
Yeah, very similar. Start small, and then do something bigger, and really relate it to him personally, and not necessarily the object.
So they're not just selling just this object. You're selling the vision, the idea behind the object, right? Now we all know this. You all know the principles that we're talking here. You do this every day. You do this on Sell and Cutco. You do this on how to get your significant other to go see the movie you want to see. Like we do this all the time. You know how to sell. But if you draw out the principles of what we're trying to get accomplished, let's apply these principles to something different, okay? So the next thing we're going to promote. Let's get some topics from the crowd. Give me business, an idea for the business besides SC1 push. We're going to do that. So key staff is one. SLDM could be one. Dirty 30. Branch. What I'm building club. Champions Club. Champions Club. Coaching calls. President's Club. Scholarship. Can you guys see all the different things that you can promote, right? I'm gonna take. Now this might be challenging for Rhiannon. This is advantage to Luke, but I'm gonna take Jeff's one step further. Instead of saying SLDM, just promoting Jeff. Whether this be the video for Advanced Trading 1, the video at day 3, the video before a team meeting, just promoting him. Now, to help us all, FC, pre-FC, or we could use a little bit of help with some stats. Stats are good. So I don't have them all memorized, and you guys might know better than me, but we know we learned a couple of today. He was #1 All-American Scholarship winner his first summer. He branched, right? And it's also on the screen behind you, so perfect. Cool? I'm going to give Luke, I'm going to let you go first on this, just so that we can hit this one. Now, how long is a good promotion? Now, you guys have been on the receiving end of promotion. Where's your point? Carlos, where's the point where you say, all right, you lost me because it was too much? Like, you built them up too much. Like, is there a time frame of attention?
I just do everything really short and fast anyway. So.
Short and fast, so quick.
More than how many?
Yeah, I would say it just depends. If it's a big group and it's something very important, I'm gonna probably go. No longer than 30 seconds.
Cool. We'll keep it at 30 seconds. 30 seconds each, right? Luke, 30 seconds. Promoting Jeff Gamboa.
Is this to reps or is this just in general?
This is a team meeting, and you're about to put Jeff Gamboa better. This is your team meeting. We'll go team meeting. Jeff Gamboa is about to talk to the team for the first time, to the whole team for the team meeting. They already saw him a couple of times now, but he's addressing the team. Some of us know him, some of us maybe missed that day, but ready? 30 seconds, let go.
Guys, how many of you here want to sell a lot, make a lot of money this summer?
Yes.
Right. Jeff Gamboa, his first summer on the job, sold over $76,000 of Cutco, made over $23,000 going into college.
How many of you are cool with 23 grand?
Mhm.
How many of you want to run your own business one day? Jeff Gamboa is the youngest promoted division manager in the company. At only 23 years old, he was promoted to division manager. How many of you guys want to run a good office one day? Guys, last year Jeff Gamboa had the 2 top branches in the entire nation.
Cool time. 32 seconds.
I had so much more.
I know. That's the hard part, right? You blame Carlos.
Well, I thought it was one-on-one. You didn't give me the context.
Oh, all right. So what's it for this?
So for that, I mean, you need like a minute and a half. You know, it's like, hey, I need to tell you about what you're about
Cool.
to see.
You get 60 more seconds. Go. Keep going.
Ruin my mojo. How do you guys want to do something big one day? Guys, Jeff Gamboa, when there was an opening in the west coast of Florida, Jeff Gamboa was able to take over both divisions, had the biggest summer of his entire career. Guys, Jeff Gamboa is someone that personally in my life he's contributed more to me than anyone, I'd say, outside of my dad. And he's someone that I think everyone here needs a chance to meet. So, introducing Jeff Gamboa.
Nice.
Awesome. Now, a couple of things to point out. Right now, that was right at a minute, so 60 seconds to a great job. And I interrupted you, and I mean, with you, Carlos, and so it's fine.
Still voted for.
That's so before I transition to Rhiannon, what were some things? Let's draw them out. Same things. What could we draw out from what Luke went through, or what he walked us through?
Well, first thing was just getting that first phrase to catch their attention, just immediate, like snap into the.
Grab the attention, questions, love it. So.
I think the most memorable was right at the end. He's like, he's impacted me, just.
He got personal.
Yeah.
He got personal. People love personal, for sure.
He made Jeff relatable.
He made Jeff relatable. It's like, I want to meet that guy. Seems like a nice guy.
He had energy. Without it, he wouldn't be.
High energy. Always be a level above who you're talking to. Absolutely. Give me 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, the right stats.
The stats are correct. The correct stats. That's important. Don't over embellish. We'll take these 2.
We talked about just connecting with the different types of people, just like who wants to make a lot of money, who wants to do something big, who wants to open their own business.
Couple general questions to draw them in.
Yeah, for every question he had like something that Jeff did to relate.
So he knew. Like the questions I'm asking are aligned with what I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna come back to that. That's a huge, Francisco. That's huge. I'm promoting something, right? But it's almost like chess, where you want to be 2 or 3 moves ahead of your opponent. So when you're promoting, you're not aimlessly doing it, and hopefully something sticks. It's like I'm coming at you with something else. So awesome job. Let's give Luke a round of applause. Small blonde, you're up. Small blonde.
Big blind and small blind.
All right,
Big
team,
blind.
so some of you already know who Jeff Gamboa is. For those of you that might need a little reminder, obviously he's our division manager, and I'm so excited for you guys to have the opportunity to watch a video that he has made specifically for you. I know a lot of you are planning on doing huge things this summer. Some of you are planning on winning All-American scholarships. He's planning on winning an All-American scholarship this summer. Okay, so you definitely want to listen because he was the #1 All-American scholarship winner his summer. How many of you want to sell like 20, 30, maybe even 40 grand this summer? Guys, he sold $76,000 of Cutco personally. That's equivalent to $125,000 now. Anyway? How do you think you could learn a little something from Jeff Gamboa who sold almost, $80,000 in the summer? All of you, right? All of us here. He's our division manager. Graduated from the University of Maryland, and he also was a personal recruit. I know most of you guys, you are personal recruits as well. So he's very relatable to all of you. He loves to give back. He's a true example of professionalism and a role model for me. He is someone that I coach with, and everything that I learn from him, I give back to you. So let's get back to him. Make sure you take notes during this talk that he gives you, because there's so many things that you're going to be able to implement if you pay attention.
Bam. Love it. Let's get ready to All right. So takeaways from Marie. Thank you. Additional things that she did that you drew out.
I like her confidence.
Confidence.
Even though it's like kind of on the spot. But
Yeah. And it was. I love this.
Create a lot of interaction.
Interaction. Good. Give me 1 or 2 more so we can move.
Just positive.
Positive.
Good transition.
Just a positive person.
Positive energy, positive person.
She asked for a lower number and she did see the bigger.
Mhm.
So
Great observation. Great observation. Action. She said, take notes. Like she was
Left it with
yeah,
action.
there was something to it to do.
Who wants this? Yeah, him. Who wants this? This guy. Who wants this? This guy. Not those words.
You guys see the setup there? Take one more.
We are considered questions as like who's personal group. Yeah, these two.
Yes. So we're making it relatable too. And also plug something that's important. So in this handout, you've been promoting, you know how to promote. Here's all these samples of a lot, like different questions and scenarios that could come up over the course of the summer. How to promote the present, how to promote the future, desired results, different events. This is like a syllabus or a playbook, if you will. It just gives you tools and you can pull them out. What I wanted to do is I wanted to get a little bit specific with how to, which we just drew out, but also giving you at least a chance to craft one of the most important stump speeches of your summer once you build your team. And that's what I want to allow us to craft, okay? So taking some of these questions that you see here, taking what you just saw Luke and Rhiannon do, we're going to partner you up. We're going to do a countdown here. So give me, we'll do 4 groups. All right, so 4 groups. So countdown of 4. So you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Cool. So we're gonna do quick. Ones this corner, 2s this corner, 3s that corner, 4 that corner. Oh, not yet. Here's what we're gonna do. Very quickly, you're gonna take your document with you, and I want you to craft a stump speech and how to promote the SC1 push. That's what you're gonna promote. I want you to take these questions. I want you to promote the who, what, when, where, why of the SC1 push. And I want you to craft it and come up with it together. And if there's time, maybe we'll have one of you guys present it to the rest of the group. So go break into your little cubicles. Hurry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go.
Where's 2s? 2s.
Over there.
2s.
Who's in this corner? Over there. Go. First and foremost.
Well, you broke the record for us once. Let's hear yours.
And it had nothing to do with anything I did with any people. It's all just getting good people.
3s, 4s, 1s, and 2s. Perfect. Assign one person to be the note taker for the group. Who's the note taker? So we can craft your stump speech. Who's the note taker?
Well, 3.
Oh, who's writing down the stump speech over here? Who's writing it? And who's writing it over here? Who's the stump speech writing? She's doing the stump speech writing. Excellent. Go.
Is this motion the push or the conference?
That's about 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Mike, is this motion the push or the conference?
The push. SC1 push. Who, what, when, where, why?
Okay.
So, your notes.
Yeah.
I was heard of the SC1 push. Okay, great. Explain what it is.
All right, do you want to write down talking points for SE1? Here, Ree, what's your email? We're cheating, I don't care. 1 sec. We got 3 minutes, let's do this. Command F, that SC1, what is it, RK? Got you. Okay, now we need to craft it into something. Now we can incorporate all these points, but okay, why is this not pacing? Son of a gun!
Well, I'll just take it on my phone.
Another 2 minutes.
Okay, so what do we start off? Yeah.
There we go. Just sent right. Yeah, I have it right here. So life-altering event, biggest event of the year thus far. Meet Jeff. Yeah, we're promoting the conference.
We're promoting the push.
We're promoting the conference.
Still the same thing.
Okay, it's the key to getting into TLA, getting into record breaker, stage, getting recognized, trophy.
Radar.
Learn to push yourself. Push yourself beyond your limits. Get experience out of yourself by pushing your limits. What are the consequences of not pushing yourself?
Wait, go back.
Go back.
Need to record breaker, gain recognition, but first yourself,
one
down
push.
radar, TLA.
60 more seconds.
The chance to go, the chance to push yourself beyond where you go. Yeah.
And
What are the consequences of you not becoming the best version of yourself by learning to push? And with that,
That's one push. SC1 push.
you start off by asking, like, how many of you have ever done something that's been the hardest thing in your life and looking back on it? Growth experience is one of the most positive things.
So 30 more seconds. SC1 push. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Assign one person from your crew that you think will be able to deliver what you just came up with. The best. Got it? Got somebody?
Yep.
Cool. Here's what you're gonna do. The person who opted out first, the person that was said, you know what? I think somebody else should do it. We could send that person to the center.
Yes, yes.
It's pretty good backup.
So whoever touch their nose first, or send them over here to the middle.
Pretty good backup.
No, give it to somebody else. Your choice. Give it to anybody else. Your choice.
Colin, send over somebody. Whoever said I don't want to do it. Oh, yeah. Hurry. We gotta do it. Hurry. Come on.
Wait, can I have those?
We have to
go to the middle.
It's okay. Actually, you don't have to come to the center. Yeah, just come to your the front of your area. All right, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna point. We're gonna go. All right, I'm gonna point. We're gonna go. Here's how we're gonna do this. Let me grab your attention. All right. Sorry. All right. So ready? Here's what I was gonna do. Here's how we're gonna do this. As soon as I point to you, you're going to pick up where the next person's left off.
Okay.
I'm going to have you feed off of each other. All right? I'm going to have you feed off each other. All right? Ready? It's kind of like one of those movies. Ready? So I'm going to start over here.
Okay.
Chris.
No.
John. We met John.
John, yeah.
John, my bad. I knew it was a white man word. All right, so John. Ready? I'm going to start with John. My apologies. So John, I'll never forget it again. So John, we're going to start with you. Ready?
Right.
And then the next person, who's this group? Step on over here so I can tell. As soon as I point, who's this person's group? So come up. Cool. Ready? As soon as I point, boom, they're picking up where you left off. John, start us out.
Okay, great. So raise your hand here if you ever had an experience that was the hardest thing you've ever done in your life, but you still chose to do it, and then when you came out at the other end, you became a better person because of it. Okay, great. Now, who would you say is raise your hand if you say someone that you like challenge and you want to grow as a person? Okay, great. So
right here, take over.
Well, then you have to get to this event, right? So we have in the 2 weeks leading into the biggest conference that we have of the year so far, there's a sales contest. All right. Now, what do we do as a company? What do we do?
Sell.
We sell, right? So for these 2 weeks, you are going to have some of the most life-changing experiences. You're going to grow professionally, personally, right? You're going to be able to advance in the company. You're going to be able to earn some income.
Boom, go.
You're able to earn some income. So guys, here's the thing. Did anybody have not the best password that they wanted to? Well, basically get a read. This push coming up is 2 weeks long. It's where you push to the hardest of your ability. It's where you give it your all, and it's where you don't give up. Some of you didn't do what you wanted to in your fast start. Here's what you can make up for it. All right? Who wants to make $1,000? Who wants to make $2, $3 grand? All right, we have this thing called SC1 coming up. It's 2 weeks. You got to push really hard for it. And at the end, we'll have a conference.
Boom. Keep going.
So at this conference, you know, the top people are going to be there. All the top representatives, all the top managers, and all the top Cutco sales professionals are going to be there. When else do you get to hear from them? You're going to get to hear messages from them. It's going to be amazing. And this is an investment in your success. And the best part about it, it's free. What conferences are free? Yeah, SC1 is one of the only free conferences. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. And this is the first time you're going to get to meet your division manager too, Mr. Jeff Gamboa.
Cool, and then we go into building up Jeff. Love it. Give everyone a round of applause. All right. So let me wrap this up. So if you guys can grab everyone, give partners high fives. You know the drill. All right, high fives. Great job. Doing a great job. So let me tie this up, and then we're gonna head out of here.
Thanks.
So hurry, grab your seats, hurry.
Can we clap conferences?
Hurry.
Do that.
Bam. Now, the reason why I decided to do this message in this way, I wanted to break down and take maybe 2 minutes and do this with you. All of you know how to do this. All of you know how to do this. You know how to sell, you know how to promote, you have your styles, but I wanted to equip you with a couple of tools. What are a couple of the tools? Right on the screen, it says how to promote. Use the questions imagery. You speak to the little voice in the back of the head of their desires and wants. Ms. Jones, imagine what this is going to look like on your account. Versus, imagine what it's going to look like when you have $1,000 in your bank account. Or one paycheck, right? Right? It's the same alignment. Hey, Ms. Jones, have you ever thought about what it's going to feel like when you are cutting that tomato in a business smush next to you? Have you ever thought about that? What that would feel, how that experience would feel? Hey, Johnny Rep, have you ever thought about what it would feel like when you go home to your parents and you say, hey, Mom, actually, I'm going to take you and Dad out to dinner tonight because I worked real hard last 2 weeks? Right? It's the same questions. Have you ever thought, can I share something not many people know? It draws them in. Can I share something? Right? I love that question. That's like how you get personal, where you could draw them in, and when you do that, you can drop your voice a little bit. It's a good one. And lastly, did you hear about the push that's coming up? No? Can I tell you a little bit about it? Boom. Going a little questions, going a little bit of promotion. So I want to wrap this message up with a couple of things. When I started this message, I started with a what? A story. When you're getting ready to promote something, whether it's a team meeting, whether it's a conference or a person, my key would be to start with a story. Transition that story into whatever the questions are, the bigger picture that you want them to see. Bigger picture, and then you can lead in with a couple of questions and always end with some sort of immediate action, whether it be sign up for this event, or make your next phone call, or ask for blank, or go field training, or whatever it might be. If you follow that little formula that we just went through during this message, story, build up a vision, couple of questions, end with some sort of action, you're going to be able to become a fantastic influencer of people that help them remember you 10, 15, 20 years down the line and can really leave a lasting impact on them. Thank you.
Come on, give it ready.
Takeaways from the final event here. Last third, fourth quarter, if you will, of the meeting.
So it's about being a couple steps away and being intentional with what you're promoting.
Okay. So that's a great exercise. Anytime you do role play, this is role play essentially. It's so much more powerful. You do agree? There's a difference. I can read that document and still be the same place I was before with public speaking. I can get up and be forced, short or tall blonde, to do something, and you have a breakthrough. You have a breakthrough because you went through it live and in front of other people, no doubt. The pressure. Other takeaways from either that exercise or just the day? Diego.
You guys speak with their voices inside of their heads.
They talk with their voice all the time out loud.
This comes from watching Brian Roman's training and just watching how everyone speaks with NFL as well. Just story sell. And you gotta always put stories in, no matter what it is, promoting, selling something, whatever it is.
You have 10 seconds to respond with what you appreciate. Go.
Mike Brown.
It's not telephone.
I appreciate my service.
My fiance, get ready to talk to her, my dog at home.
The rapper or the entity of when Friday said?
Appreciate you for facilitating.
Okay, we're not done yet. Next couple weeks, yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Branch.
Las Palas.
Las Palas.
Sports.
Sports.
Sports. Sports. John lifts.
So I asked during this text message, she says, how's it going? I said, I'm having so much fun. I haven't had this much fun in the field. No offense last year, last 2 to 3, whatever years are not included, what I'm going to say. I'm having so much fun. It's great to get dynamic synergy. And it's great to get a new, anytime it's new, it's exciting. Because we want variety from time to time. So this is providing my life with variety. It's really cool to see what's happened from the first day to how it's come to now. If you notice that, it's pretty cool. So I'd love to transition that fun and the ability to create new circles of influence, like many of you said, at Duffy's Sports Grow. Forget the sports part, forget the grow part, it's Duffy's. Forget the Duffy's part. We're gonna go and I'll have wings, I'll have some vegetarian fare for those folks that don't partake in meat and carnage. I love carnage. So I'll order a whole bunch of apps, everything else will be on you, and I think if I could ask you to go into tonight, not only as because it's a wind down session, but as a, hey, let me get a chance to go into this meeting the way I'm going to promote going to a VIP night for my reps. For some of you, it's going to be different. Some of you, it's what we always promote. Why do we go to events? Why do you want to meet Jeff Campbell? Why go to VIP night in Fort Myers and Briggle in Atlanta, in Hialeah? Why?
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Not what you know, it's who you know, and what's the power of circle of influence when you get a chance to meet and network and increase your knowledge and make great friendships here. And I can tell you, it's these events that I think I'm really good at facilitating, where people go in and we're going to be able to facilitate just lots of knowledge, fun, or if anything, you get to know someone who's a lot cooler than you thought. You go out of your way to talk to the quiet persons. Let's go in and really work, but with each other tonight. Can we do that? Let's have a lot of fun. Number 2, tomorrow. We're going to go outside just because I don't want to be in a hotel 3 days in a row. For part of it, not in the morning, but just part of it. It says 7:45 arrival. I would say, how about arrival no later then? So the range will be 8 to 8:15 arrival. We'll move it up a little bit. So 8 to 8:15 arrival. We're going to start debriefing at 8:15. Can I get a cool yes if you agree? Yes, sir. Okay. So can I get a you got it, Jeff?
You got it, Jeff.
All right. So right between 8 and 8:15. Come out. Make sure you're dressed appropriately. So have gear, gym gear / going out. If I were to say, hey, we're gonna walk to the beach, maybe I don't know. Like, if I say we're gonna walk to facilitate some of the, you see all the exercises, and you don't need handcuffs for them. So let's
Swift walk.
Swift walk.
A swift walk.
Okay, so I will be in workout gear. Whatever I do workout in, that's well worth one. Okay. Thanks for. This is the toughest day, I would say. It's definitely the toughest day, but you guys are champions, and I have gratitude for all of you working so hard. Seniors, Mike, thank you. Carlos, thank you. Karina, thank you. Grace, thank you. The most senior. Our PSMs, like many of you have played alumni. Pretty cool to see all the alumni here. And just, I'm having a ton of fun. And when you put the fun meter on high on Jeff Gamboa, no one can stop me. I'm the best division manager in the company. That's how you manage your boss. Make it really fun for me. Hence all the inappropriate jokes from time to time. That's a cue that I'm having fun. If I'm quiet and I don't make any jokes, that's a cue for some fun.
You put the FU in fun.
Ready? Humor me. Imagine Atlanta, Georgia for a second. Just imagine. Whatever hotel. Now I want you to imagine 600, 700 students. And of course, the talk of the town is the U. And people keep asking about the U. The sales report is all about the U. When you get to that SC1 or SC2, and you walk in, all of our reps are so pumped up, and of course you build me up and you hear 3, 2, 1. All the reps are taking forever to blow their little thing. And they walk in, you see Jeff Gamboa, and yet another unbelievably ridiculous, fashionably loud outfit. Wow, that crazy guy! And he's up on stage. Hey, it's Carolina now! So we're going through, and then all of a sudden, we have our conglomerate of bus driving ST2 United reps, all probably dressed in the same colored outfit, knowing us and our themes. Maybe we'll just have a whiteout party.
White pants.
I don't know.
Necessity.
All our reps, and
You get to
imagine what we're doing here today, the culture tonight, the fun we're having right now, the way we've operated this meeting the last 48 hours, spread to 350 people, let's say. Okay? So we're representing 350, all excited to be part of the United Division, all throwing up to you, and then it comes to the champ. Okay? That's going to mark the moment where, and I want you to remember this, we'll go back and say, Jeff said this at the Kiel meeting. When we go, and we're going to go to summer kickoff, and we're going to throw the U, we have some fun, and you know, there's always haters, and they're going to be people who say, oh, there they go, they're all unified. Okay, and that's fine. And then we're going to go into the meetings and into the summer. But I promise you, when we get to SC2, and we bring our squad, army, big amount of people, however you want to say it, large amount of people, we're going to go, and it's going to be super impressive, not because it's a lot of people saying champ. Not because they all just showed up. It's going to be because we have a group of people that we developed, and they have this very unique culture, and it is magnetic. I promise you, it is magnetic, and you're gonna pass the rice. Man, we've got 350 people throwing up that U sign. It's gonna be super fun. So if you remember me as a bit of Duffy, let's do a little Dale Fuego. Not FU. I know.
We're working on it, guys. Don't worry, but it'll be
Doesn't line up with
he just needs to have a lot of fun.
Okay. So as you guys the former chief, it's got a little rhythm to it. The last one's extra loud, but we'll throw it to you.
So we're doing the U, or we're doing the U?
Every 100 people, that thing is nasty. Try 350. Okay? Now here's the cool thing. If we're gonna come in that audaciously, you better have a back it up with a report, and we will. That's even better. Okay? And you say, and I'm from the U, that's how it goes. That's how you start the cheer. Like someone goes, hey everybody, and I'm from the U. Ready? Okay. So we do all that. We'll do like a summer kickoff. So we introduce everybody. So our phones in, everybody. And I'm from the U! I think that's going to be pretty intimidating.
Those weak lows.
Uh,
Those weak.
I would say don't change, just go straight up.